Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. We're back for the new year, and what a year it will be. We've already started with our final Savage tier for Dawn Trail, and oh boy, what a time it was. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the potentially, how do I put this? We'll just get to M10 when, but there's some words for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, idyllic.
The good, the bad, and the idyllic. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that could have been the name of the show, but I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Happy. Of course, joining me is Sly. Happy New Year, Sly. Good to have you back.
Happy New Beers. How you doing?
New beers. I could go for a beer right now. That sounds good.
Yeah, I got a few in the fridge, but I'm good.
I'm a sour guy though, Sly. I really like sours.
I know you are. I know it's never could get into it.
That's
how's
fine.
the New Year been?
New Year's been great. Just been getting ready to move, so that'll be fun. New house,
Yeah.
New year, new house. But we'll talk about that probably throughout the various shows coming up that we'll have. But we also have a guest on today. We've never had them on the show before, and I've only had the opportunity to speak with them even like one time before this, and they had to remind me of that during the pre-show because I had completely forgotten about it. We have Rinon on, everyone. Rinon on. There we go. Rin on.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I hope everyone's having a good day.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I dropped the ball a little bit on that because I reached out to them last month and then forgot to follow up after I saw they was like, okay, they can't. All right, I'm doing other things. I'll get back to them when I remember. And then I didn't remember until about a week ago.
That is so much better than what you normally do. So
Ask the day before, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you for that. At least a month in advance. So good job on that.
No, I asked them.
I'm totally okay with it, by the way, because don't worry, I do the same thing and I get dragged for it by my friends where they're like, oh, you didn't reply to this message from 2 days ago. And I'm like, oh, I thought I did. I was supposed to. I meant to.
Life just does that sometimes. You go to do one thing and then the other thing and your brain never goes back. That's it. And if that red one is gone on Discord, that's it. The conversation hasn't happened anymore. It's not there. Yeah, welcome on. First time being on the show. It's good to have you. Glad we were able to get you on for an Arcadian show because it's been an exciting time with the Arcadian for me. Before we get started, quick shout out to our patrons on Patreon. Appreciate them for supporting. We don't have any content gated behind Patreon. We don't do that. We just have those who support us, and we appreciate all of you. So thank you. It's called ADHD. It's called a lot of things, to be honest, but it's it just happens. But yeah, welcome on. Since you've never been on the show before or not, I doubt you really need much of an introduction to everyone here, but would you like to give everyone a quick introduction to yourself, your content, and your experience with Final Fantasy XIV?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name's Rinon. I make FF14 YouTube videos discussing raids and jobs and things like that. I've been playing for about 11 years now, I think, and I've been doing like hardcore week 1 raiding for 4 or 5, I think. I just like playing the game and talking about it, if I'm going to be honest. That's about it.
Yeah, that's how I got started doing it, so same roots. Yeah, well, this has been long overdue. You've been a long time request on the show. And like Sly alluded to, I'm terrible at getting people on the show. I've got a social anxiety about it that he just doesn't have.
I'm just subbing.
I mean, I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
No, I'm happy.
I'm
there's the first one.
I know.
And there's the first one. Yeah.
First one of the year, had to knock it out. Okay, Rinon, I don't know if you've seen the show before, but if you say anything like, I'm happy to be here, he will respond with, no, I'm happy.
I have watched it before and I have heard that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's your first one. Yeah. That
First
joke is banned in my household, just so you
I'm
know.
happy to
Yeah, I can't. That was too far. I can't do it again. Sometimes Sly gives me a look and I just go, look, and then he pulls out the booze. I drive Sly to alcohol.
Well,
He doesn't really need
pretty
the
much.
help. No, you don't need the help.
I don't. I don't, honestly, but, you know.
It helps. Yeah. It helps. You just wait till you see any of our raid footage where somebody goes, whoops, didn't mean to do that. And whoops goes, no, that's me.
God, not whoops, too.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops, I believed in you.
Why? Come on now. All right. So while Sly pops a bottle, Arcadian Heavyweight has now been out for just about a week and a half. We did have to wait a little extra time in order to get this tier. So I actually want to start with that. Renata, what were your thoughts about them delaying the tier in terms of the holiday timing? A fan, not a fan?
I was pretty happy with it, to the point that I kind of wish they did this every tier, if I'm going to be honest. So, like, aside from the fact that it's a bit rough for people who want to do week 1 progression if they're coming into Christmas, right? But aside from that, you know, at the start of every expansion, you get this period of a few weeks where the only quote-unquote current content is the extreme trial, and everything is kind of relaxed, and people are just chilling and doing content without, like, the obligations of getting your Savage clears on the weekly reset. We had an extended window of that period for the extreme trial Doom Train this time around, and I thought it was really fun, and you kind of get to split those up a little bit more and have, like, time to enjoy each one individually. I kind of wish they did a 3-week delay every patch, if I'm going to be real.
Yeah, the 1 week isn't enough, because it's right now, because the norm now is the 1 week delay, but the 3-week delay is a lot longer.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I suppose one thing as well that is interesting about it is the fact that we have this situation where you're coming into Savage with more gear, and they said that they've tuned the Savage tier tighter to accommodate for the extra gear, right? And what has kind of resulted, which I think some people would see as a negative, is that some of the fights, namely mostly M11S, is a little bit stricter to deal with in terms of check. I think that's fun. I think it adds spice. I don't see any negative that I've experienced, at least with the delayed patch cycle. I like it. I'm into it.
Well, to be clear, their specific statements, they made minimal adjustments. And I will say, I think that's reflected, because for the most part, play well, demolish was the week 1 experience, it felt like. Outside of M11, where we'll get to it. But it's weird, because I don't think they did anything to it. I think that there's a lot of inefficiency that goes into the last, like, 40% of the fight that really hurts people more than it being a result of them tuning it tighter.
I think it's pretty fair. Well, I suppose we'll talk about it later, but I do think that the tuning is very fair throughout the entire tier, put it that way.
Yeah. That's what I think. Sly, have you had any time to get into Arcadian? Because I know you're not much. Because you're not a week 1 raider. It still was kind of close to, like, just after the holidays, people going back to work. And your group. What's the motto for your group? What is it? We got shit.
What was
to
our
do.
motto? Oh yeah, we got shit to do. So yeah, like we actually did go in week 1. Like at the end of week 1, we got through 10. We're pretty much on the precipice of 11. Now we're going back in on Monday. Oh. Yeah, Monday. We'll probably go in. Well, I hate that I'm fucking saying this. Not everybody can go in on the weekend. So some of us were like, okay, some of us will PF. And I'm like, I mean,
Waffle House time, Sly.
I'm like, we're kind of there, so I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to, but it's PF.
I will say, I actually think, other than, like, mistakes being really punishing in M11 in particular, I actually think PF's got a lot of stuff down pretty well right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll talk about it. The rough part is probably the roughest part is arena split, but that's everybody. So
yeah. And one of us has a video that helps with that tremendously, but no one's fucking doing it.
Oh, yeah, right.
But no one's fucking doing it at all.
I got flamed pretty hard for that video.
Yeah, I know, but welcome to my life.
I mean, it's a legit, like, and I've seen it, and I'm like, I really didn't think about it, and we'll talk about it. I'm like, I really didn't think about that. I really didn't even know about that. I didn't know that existed. That was a thing.
We were reviewing our prog footage afterwards, and we were like, why are people not getting hit by it? What's going on? And so we went in and tested it, and it turns out that it just works.
Yeah. And it's not the bug where you outrange it. It's just you block it, right? That's what I'm remembering correctly. Because there's a bug where you can like outrange the meteor if you go all the way to the back, I think it is. Yeah,
you can, if you stand on the back wall, it outranges it. It just doesn't reach that far for some reason. I have no idea why. Like my guess is like the only thing I can think is that it must be something along the lines that Square Enix coded the sizes of the AoEs based on the arena, right? But the arena changes and they just forgot to change it. I don't know.
Yeah, for those who haven't
think
looked,
of any other reason it could be.
Yeah, because for those who haven't looked, when the arena splits, it pushes the arena out. It doesn't destroy the middle. It pushes the arena in half and does this. So the arena ends up being bigger than it is on the minimap, weirdly enough. So it's likely coded to stop at the end of the arena, so it can't. It's weird. I don't know why it's like that, but you know, that's what they decide to do. But anyway, we're like I said, but that's you know, it's first time on the show. It's kind of what ends up happening. We have a plan, maybe go things a little chronological, but then we just jump all over because it's more organic.
We just go on tangents. Yeah.
So a fan of the 3-week delay forever. Now I will say this. There was a question about how that would affect the rest of the patch cycle. And as of I last checked, we still don't have a maintenance alert for this coming Tuesday for 0.41, which seems to imply that the delay of Savage may have affected the delay in what would normally be the 5-week mark, which is the latest we normally see 0.41. Does that change your outlook on it if that does indeed end to be the case and we don't have the relic upgrades on Tuesday?
It's not too much for me personally, mainly because when patches like that happen, I'll just enjoy them when they come, and I don't mind if it takes a few more weeks, right? I do think it's interesting, though, because it's likely going to have a knock-on effect to also delay Criterion, right, which is supposed to be coming in the 0.45 window.
Yeah.
I think the thing is about Square Enix having a bit more of a flexible release window based on holidays or timings or whatever's preferential to them. I think it is, to me at least, totally fine. But the thing that I would really love to see is when patch 7.4 gets its date released, for example, they give a timeline of this is when everything else is coming, every patch, so that you know this is going to be coming week 6, this will be coming week 8, this will be coming week 10, or whatever the timeline is they decide on that time. I think that would probably alleviate a lot of stress from, number one, people that may want to take a day off to do the relic. I know a lot of people that like to do that. Number 2, people that may want to take a day off to do Criterion. I know a lot of people that want to do that. I think just kind of having a level of communication, for me at least, is all I really need to be happy with whatever cadence they want to release stuff on, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's made evident because this is the only patch where they went into the live letter, like, they just gave us, like, everything, like, super clear. There was no, like, oh, we're getting, like, early December. Like, they just said, no, we're doing it here and we're delaying Savage. Like,
yeah,
we're just
it was so good.
all that.
I was so happy with them announcing it early.
Yeah, but then now we're in the dark about the things that aren't Savage, and those are not in pattern, so it's weird.
I'm not really sure what to expect, basically. I hope that there'll be some kind of announcement soon and they'll just kind of try and keep the communication going, because I remember I released a video before the patch and I was big talking Square Enix going, oh, it's amazing, the communication here was so good, it's out of character for them. But obviously out of character, and I would love it to be in character, you know?
Yeah, they're back in character now is the fear. Like, oops, sorry, slipped out of our skin for a second there. Let's get right back into it. All right. Well, yeah. With that, then we can actually get to talking about the Arcadian tier proper. Let's do an overall, and we'll let Rinon start. Change a vowel in there, I guess. So, yeah, you're our guest. So give us your overall on Arcadian Savage before going into any individual fight. excite you? Did you like the tier? Was it worse, better than cruiserweight for you? Just whatever it is you kind of have to say.
I think heavyweight is probably my favorite Arcadian tier. And I don't say that lightly because I really liked cruiserweight. I liked cruiserweight a lot. I think that some of the individual fights this tier are weaker than some of the individual fights that cruiserweight had. But I think that heavyweight does what it set out to do so well that in a few years it will be remembered as a peak FF14 rater. That's kind of how I feel about it.
And before I get to yours and your experience so far, I have to ask, since I'm gonna have way more questions for Rinon since we haven't had them on before. Are you a Midas enjoyer?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a Midas enjoyer. Midas is my favorite rater.
There we go. That's what I needed to
know. Wait, are we stereotyped? A Midas enjoyer?
We sure are. Yep.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yep. We sure are.
No, y'all are. Y'all bitches are, not me.
Yeah. A Midas enjoyer is a very different kind of player for Final Fantasy 14. Because A, it means you've been around that long. And B, it means that you actually know what a good raid tier looks like.
Midas was my first raid tier as well, so I was in a 2-day-a-week static for Midas, and I loved it. Nothing has ever come close to how good I felt when I killed Midas fights on content.
Yeah, Midas is wild. Midas is great. See, Sly is over here because I know Sly static broke on A6, like a lot of statics did back then. So it's not the same experience. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, after A3, that'll never happen again. A6 comes around. Dude.
It's okay. My static broke on A8. We got 2 fights further, but we broke just the same.
Oh, man. Yeah, that tier did some damage. Not as much as Gordius, but at least you started a tier later. You didn't do what I did. For your own sake, be glad.
And then everybody clears Creator.
Yeah. Well, Creator was when the game got easy, Sly.
Yeah.
Playable, some would say, but easy. All right. Okay, good. Midas Enjoyer. Got that for the record books. All right. Sly, how has your experience been thus far? Because you've actually gotten to, I think you've experienced exactly what you need to kind of judge heavyweight. The final fight is kind of important towards how you feel. But I think M10 and 11.
And then I've seen 12, so I haven't experienced it yet, but looking forward to it. So far, from just a general player perspective, I agree. Heavyweight probably is my favorite tier out of the 3 of Arcadian. Never
let the ops win. Got him. All right.
Wow. From my role perspective as a melee, the word greed comes up a lot, especially in M11. M11 really tests your greed. You kind of have to again. We say this all the time. Are you really raiding if you're not greeding? Yeah. So. Yeah, push it kind of tests the limits. This tier is kind of tests the limits of my greed. Because I usually like to play it safe. I'm like, no, man, get that.
You got to be locked into greed on 11. That shit's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that shit. Oh my god. But no, get that GCD in, man. You just got to be a rabid raver. But yeah, the fights have been punishing but rewarding at the same time. Now, I think that's it's kind of like a good balance when it comes to Savage fights. They'll punish you in some unique ways, aka M9. But at the same time, once you get it, it's so rewarding. So it has that good balance, in my opinion. So I think that's what makes it a really standout overall tier throughout the game for me.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's well in line with their mission in terms of Dawn Trail. The whole point of Dawn Trail was to kind of bring raid and fight identity back a little bit more in exchange for them pushing up job identity till 8.0. And I feel like heavyweight is the culmination of that, and it's very well done through and through. There's a lot of old ideas brought back once again, and you're fighting for your damage a lot here. But they make sure that it's fun and unique. Every encounter is its own identity from both the bosses and the music, and that's kind of been a strength of the Arcadian as a whole. I said that heavyweight needed to be 4 out of 4 because in my opinion, we've never had a 12 out of 12 good raid tier, and I think we finally nailed it at this point.
Yeah.
I would give it the award of the first ever 12 out of 12 raid tier. Although I know some people are going to fight me on at least one fight this tier that I think is done well, but a lot of people don't. So when we get to that, and I'm sure you might be able to figure out which one it is.
I think so.
Yeah. So let's start with M9. M9, there was a lot of room for this to go wrong. First fights are really a toss-up because they always border on the line of too easy or didn't do enough when it comes to Savage. I thought this one was... At first, day one, I was a little jaded because I was DDoS the whole time I was doing it. So I actually kind of didn't really know how I felt about it day one.
Oh, yeah.
I had to wait a few days and think about it, go back, watch it, like actually see what it asked me to do. And then I realized even doing re-clears this week, I'm like, no, I do like this fight. This fight is actually pretty well done. It's just they didn't go as hard on the main theme because it's a first fight is really all it is.
I think one thing that's really interesting about 9, for me at least, is the fact that usually first turns are just spread stack pairs the fight, right?
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like team coordination, but very simple team coordination. But M9 has a lot less of that than normal. And I was expecting to dislike it because of that. But I actually like the fact that they managed to pull off a fight that is almost entirely solo mechanics while still making it fun. I think that's quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of onus on you to just not get hit to prevent the boss from getting stronger.
Getting stacks.
Yeah. But that's the thing I think they went a little light on. Like 4 stacks increases her damage, 8 stacks increases the size. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of you agreed on that in terms of like Rinon, I remember watching your video about the analysis of the fights, and you said they could like the punishment was good, but they could have expanded on it and they could have done a little bit more with it.
Yeah. It would have been really cool to see, like, you fail too many mechanics and then in the weapons phase later you get like an extra sword to deal with or something. I think stuff like that would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, the first fight, it's one of the, like I said, the first fight is the easiest fight to over expect because, like, I don't know about you, Rinon, but my brain just thinks logically, what can they do, not what will they do, because it's just, you know, the first fight, the fourth fight.
Yeah.
You just kind of go for the all the way on the prediction.
Yeah, we definitely, me and my group definitely over predicted that fight a little bit. Like, some of it we got right going into prog, like the bats, like the first mechanic of the fight. I think actually that's a good example. The bats, the first mechanic of the fight going into it. My group kind of prepared, assuming it would work exactly how it is in Savage, which is it's normal mode, but also you are a bat and you explode when you walk through. But we were like, oh, there'll be pairs or something at the same time as this.
Yeah.
You know, like we always assumed the extra step that didn't end up being the case. And I think that kind of summarizes a lot of 9 in a way.
Yeah, and honestly, with the way that some of the other tiers went, like looking at Black Cat, I mean, she's nonstop, you know, spreads, pairs, that like that's like such a key. It's an easy prediction to make, I feel. All of Endwalker made it an easy prediction to make. I feel like a lot of it's just the scars of that.
Yeah, we expect the expected, and sometimes we get the unexpected, which is pretty good.
Yeah, like it was kind of strange seeing spread and light parties not being a thing during first arena shift phase. I was like, oh, they're just doing more half rooms, but from the side instead.
Yeah.
It was kind of refreshing. Like I suppose that's how I feel about it. It's just it's designed slightly differently, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. And that didn't go. I also am a
do
huge.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. Go. Because I might have it. That might.
No, I was going to ask. Do both of you in this case think like? I wouldn't necessarily call it. I mean, yeah. At its basis, it is simple. Do you think simple is best in this regard? Because in terms of arena shift, it felt simple. Like again, we went in. My group went in because we kind of did a dry run. Like I guess the week before, like. Going in normal, like doing this is where maybe this will probably be a group stack during Coffin Maker or whatnot, and in and out. We were kind of right on the in and outs, but like yeah, sometimes do you think simple is best in regards to a fight like this, like a first fight?
I think it can be. I think if you compare this directly to Dancing Green, right, which I think is probably pretty clearly the hardest first fight of the expansion, at least compared to Black Cat.
Yeah,
I think that they're both very fun fights to do, but in very different ways. I think it's totally okay to have a fight like this that is very solo mechanics, very simple, as long as you also get the other end of that paradigm at some point in an expansion. Because like the way I personally think about raids is I think of like the entire expansion versus just the tier, because you're never going to get like a big spread of different archetypes in just 4 fights, right? But if you've got 12, you could do that. And I kind of like that they had this very standardized FF14 design first fight in Dancing Green, and then they tried something different in this one, and it ended up easier as a result. But the fact that both exist makes it okay, I think, personally.
Yeah, I think it's all about having a theme and executing on it. And as long as that theme is fun to do, I don't really care if it's simple or complicated. I'll always make in my head think it's going to be more complicated than it is. And it's just not, it can't be the expectation. It's more like just the I'm prepared in case it is that. It was, I enjoyed it. Like I thought having less things, like less of the spread stacks was going to make it less fun, but it was like Rinon said, it was just kind of refreshing to not constantly be doing light parties or pairs, like looking at like Cloud of Darkness back in the day, for example, or looking back to Dancing Green, like they and Black Cat. It's always that, and not having that is, even if it's easier, just nice. Like to be able to focus on me and my dodges and make sure I don't kill my teammates and everything.
Right. And then the again, like something like the end with the Proteans and then the Dynamo or the Point Blank, interesting, but simple.
Yeah, I mean, but that's tied to the being chained to the bats. And that's another example of a really simple mechanic that I just enjoyed doing. Like being chained to the bat and following the bat while dodging conals, ending with a donut or a point. Like that's such a simple thing to ask the players to do. But again, every player individually just has to know how to do it. You're not chained to another player. You're not like going to kill anyone else if you die there. It's all on you. And it's just to try to prevent the boss from getting stacks at the end of the day. So
that mechanic as well on caster is like you're constantly fighting against the goblin inside you because you really want to greed your GCD and cast. But if you get too far behind with the damage down and there's not quite enough visual feedback to
the name
get it
of the
unless you know
game.
the distance. So I think as a caster or a healer, it's super fun to do because you're like constantly walking the tightrope between getting it right and getting a red debuff.
If you did Fort Tower blood on a caster, then the daggers probably trained you very, very well for that on the last boss.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Those things, I don't know who decided those snapshotted when they did, but they are a menace, whoever did that. But just in general, like, again, that's just and then also, I think my favorite part of the fight is actually the second ad phase, not the Coffin Maker.
Second intermission.
The second intermission, which is actually a lot more demanding than it seems like it is on paper, because in execution, it's pretty easy. The tanks go take the tank tower, the ranged kill the ranged tower, the flails need to die immediately, the other things start to close down the space. But it gets, the moment anything doesn't happen quickly in that phase, it gets very claustrophobic, and the blades spinning through every Final Fantasy XIV's worst player is a slow moving projectile, Ever since '07, that's been the case with those fucking missiles. And it just ends up being really satisfying to get through that phase. Not to mention that even before factoring in someone getting hit by a saw blade, which in the PF always happens, the boss raid widing every time in between the tank busters and while you're trying to deal, it's frenetic without being overly demanding.
It reminds me a little bit of, the honeybee lovely phase halfway through the fight with the bees, where it's kind of just dodge AoE, but it isn't because you can develop a system for it. This feels like the logical sequel to that in a way, right? They added a few extra factors, but they kept the chaos.
Yeah. And that's far more because in the normal mode, all that really happens there is like you still have the flails, but it's just anyone can do the flails in normal mode. And then there's not the extra tower. So, and that's actually, I do want to raise a question. One big thing Heavyweight does, and I'm a fan of this, is the continuity and how the fights flow in normal and Savage are actually like almost 1-to-1 in every fight. There's no like random fuck ass phase that never existed in the normal mode fight that shows up in Savage outside of like the big like P12 phase 2 moment. Fan or not, because I know some people are always thinking of like the Kokaido soccer phase, for example, something like that showing up. Nothing like that happens in normal mode. Do you think that's done well here? Do you think that's a positive, a negative? Where are we at?
I think it's probably good, actually. I didn't think about it too hard until now, but I kind of like the fact that there's a lot of people that are not going to interact with Savage, and you run into situations which even this tier happened a bit, where you get fights that are just kind of nothing fights. So I think that especially for those players who don't interact with Savage, having the same template as what will become the Savage fight with all of the cool mainline moments just brought in line for a bit more of an easy experience is good. Like the bit where Tyrant grabs half of the arena and slams the other half of the arena. If that wasn't in normal, that fight would be way worse for normal mode players. And I also like that it kind of adds an element of planning for people who are doing Savage, actually, because if it becomes standard, if it becomes a thing that is constant going forward, it means people are more able to accurately go, okay, so this is roughly how the flow of the fight is going to go, rather than just it being completely unpredictable, which I think is interesting as well, because I kind of think planning before you go into a fight for the first time is kind of a cool thing to do. I think it's interesting, the ideas you can come up with.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but I predict phases that aren't even there whenever I'm like predicting for a fight. And that didn't...
I just make stuff up sometimes.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, she's gonna do a half moon kick, but channel it into the bats and cut off like 7/8 of the arena with the bats cloning her half moon kick or something.
I think a lot of us were thinking of that, too.
Like, there's no reason for me to assume that, but I did.
But it goes back to what y'all were saying at the beginning, like where we would rather unexpect the expected than expect the unexpected in terms of the earlier fights, like 9 through 11. I mean, 12 obviously will have something unexpected. But yeah, we would rather like having the room to prepare, save for one or two extra things. And I guess the extra thing here was the jails, which not too extra, but
yeah,
something
like
simplistic.
There is something new technically. That whole jail phase, there's nothing like that in normal mode, obviously. I'm not saying everything, but like if there's just like one tiny thing. Whereas in a lot of other fights, there tends to be like some whole big thing. Like I guess I shouldn't call the ball phase in M10 a tiny thing, but it's like a major part, and that's brand new to Savage. But the whole flow of the fight is the same. Like it does just feel like you're playing normal amped up, not like you're doing a completely different fight that's like super like extra in every way.
Yeah.
Which for me preserves the story in some sense as well, like the progression of the story. I don't know, which I like. I appreciate that in raids. So it worked well for me. But yeah, M9 gets a thumbs up. I do think that I'm kind of tight. Like you mentioned, Dancing Green's probably is I think most would agree is the hardest of the first
Dancing
fights,
Green just had more moving parts. I feel like Dancing Green just had more moving parts than M9, in my opinion.
I mean, literally, he was dancing. the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The definition of moving part. There were moving parts for M9, but they're very different parts for most people.
They were slowly moving, and like you said, nothing.
Not what I meant, Sly, but
nothing strikes fear
true.
into a raider. Nothing strikes fear into a raider other than slowly moving saws and shit.
It's not what I was talking about, Sly, but yeah, that too. That was an erection joke.
God damn it.
We got there eventually, and so did everyone doing that fight, I suppose.
Well, some of them got there a bit quicker than others, unfortunately.
Wow.
They're like, all right, I'm done with the fight. We haven't cleared yet. I'm done with the fight.
I'm done. We can go do normal mode now.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we can move on to a different form of the same soup, I suppose, and that of the Yowie brothers, as some people have come to call them. The Blowjob brothers, the Yowie brothers,
The
whatever you
Brojob.
prefer.
The Brojob brothers.
Yeah, the Brojob
Dude.
brothers here.
Bro. Dude.
Hey, save some fun for me. Let's do this together, bro.
Together, bro.
They really did. I don't know what it is with this. Why did they decide every second fight of the Arcadian was going to be like iconic beyond all belief? How did they just decide that?
Just with the quotes as well, they're so fucking good. Just the
Yeah.
they just say the dumbest stuff, and it's so funny.
Yeah, and all of the second fights. It's wild how consistent it is to have Honey Bee, Sugar Riot, and the Extremes. They're all the like bright, colorful, like fun bosses, and everyone ends up either loving or hating them the most. It feels
So,
like.
Haps, how you feeling? How you feeling in that regard? Love or
I'm
hate?
feeling pretty good, bro. Dude,
Pretty
this
good,
week
bro.
our tanks found the brothers in Solution 9 and copied their glams to a T.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then laid down next to the one they were glammed as dead at the end. made for a good moment. Was really full circle. No, this was a great fight. It was the fight I was equally as excited for and concerned about because
Same.
this is clearly their we need to do something we haven't done in a while fight, like it was with M6. We haven't done an ad phase in a while. You know what else we haven't done in a while? A fight that's two target most of the time. Really not since like there are some like ultimate phases that are two target and whatnot. And yeah, there's sometimes like an ad phase that's two target, but two bosses hittable for 70% of the fight has not happened in a long time. Really since MNF, I think.
Right. And I'll go ahead and say I originally thought this was going to be much worse than than what it is, and
Yeah.
surprisingly, it really wasn't bad. It's not like in terms of damage, pretty much. I would say the more lenient of the fights. I'd say. I mean, M9 obviously probably.
We'll get into it, but I think
so.
M12 is the most lenient actually. M9 and M12 I think are equally as lenient, but we'll get into that.
But yeah, like when you think about it, it's like, yeah, managing, two bosses, two people. But I guess the original concern I had with this was like looking at normal. There's a lot of people mechanics where if people fuck up, you have nowhere to stand. And that was pretty much the case. And like it wasn't like again, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was actually pretty fun. Yeah, some of the mechanics like water snaking, I thought was pretty fun too, especially the water snaking with the water snaking or fire snaking extreme with the swaps. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun too. Just figuring that out and figuring out the timings in that regard. I mean, the only extra thing, I wouldn't say only extra thing, but like the major extra thing was baby jail. It's a thing. Just I think it was easy to figure out. Just put the fire in the baby jail, the water baby jail, and
yeah, you have to
do the thing, make
penetrate
sure-
deep blue with red hots AOE. Yeah.
This is going to be the theme of M10, like during this discussion, isn't it?
Oh, there's
okay.
literally a strategy board that's just them kissing. If you go into M10 in the PF and somebody doesn't share that, then you have found a rare situation.
I just hope it says "Let's do this together, bro." And
It does.
That's what I.
It does.
Oh my god,
It does. It's the it's the kiss your homies meme, but with deep blue and red hot.
But I will say this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a really good fight. I just to start the fight, I'm pretty sure everybody has the same idea, but don't you just fucking hate getting those tethers? No matter what.
No, the PF strat, no. If you're doing it like, it's one of those mechanics, and I actually love this. They started with something I automatically just love in Savage fights. The logical way your brain solves that very first mechanic is not uptime focused at all, but you know that there's a way to solve it like that. And like,
right.
That's great. Like, I love when a mechanic has your brain logically wants to do it, but you have to overcome it and do it a different way to do it better. Because it means that you actually have to think. They didn't just say, oh, you have to do it this way, which are the least interesting mechanics when there's one solution and there's no way to like reinterpret it at all.
Yeah.
So like,
I think
we
did
made
a
a
good job
box
with that in general. This fight,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mechanics that have tons of different resolution methods. Like there's so much player choice in this fight that is really cool.
Yeah, they want to do it together.
Yeah.
Bro.
God.
Yeah. And then,
I
you know,
think-
oh, yes, Rinon.
I was just gonna say, I think for me, like the coolest thing about that fight isn't even any of the mechanics. It's just the fact that it changes the balance on jobs because it's two target, but not all the time. So it lets jobs like Red Mage, for example, shine, who is like kind of a middle of the pack DPS otherwise, and yet it's one of the it is like smashing most of the melee DPS in that fight in terms of damage. It's so strong. And I think stuff like that, where an encounter allows jobs that wouldn't shine that hard to really get a moment of glory, is really good.
Yeah, we've had this discussion a lot on the show and in my own videos about how sometimes for a job to have identity, the fight has to be better for some jobs or another. Like, not for every, like, the whole Picto problem at the start of the expansion was every fight was better for Picto. And it was like impossible to really feel like you had the freedom to play something else if you were trying to be like, you know, quick kills or, you know, week one or whatever. That's not been the case here. This is really more of a, yeah, there's going to be, you'll feel really good if the choice you have is like one of the better ones, but you don't feel bad if you're on the jobs that like aren't hyper optimal here. And even if
the difference isn't insane, it just brings up some of the low rankers a bit more in certain situations.
Yeah. I know I, as a bard, I mean, getting to, you know, line them up, like when they're surfing during fire snaking, when they're in a straight line through the cardinals, I can hit them with Apex and Blast, but I can't do that when they're at the diagonals. So I can plan gauge usage around that a little bit more. One annoying thing is Reign of Death has an 8 yalm radius, but Shadowbite has a 5 yalm radius, so I can't. I think there's also, isn't there like a thing where one of them actually has a slightly larger hitbox for some reason, so you can use like 5 yalm radius
during which mechanic?
Well, when they're standing in the center, like healing each other. Because there's like,
yeah, I've heard one of them is like the tiniest bit bigger. I can't remember which one it is, but I've heard that too.
Possibly Red Hot, I'd say, more than Deep Blue.
That probably
Red
makes
Hot's
sense.
a big dude. Yeah. Yeah, because I noticed my Reign of Death could hit 2, but I couldn't shadow bite both of them when they were like that with whoever I was targeting on prog. But I've been told that I guess if you target the right one on prog, it does hit. So I'm like, okay, I'll have to make sure I know which one. But I love, again, that's the thing. They went for the 2 target here. So do you know how to 2 target? As a bard, I'm dotting and iron jawsing both of them and making sure that
exactly.
Like,
and see, here, that's the fun part for me was like, you know, figure like optimizing, okay, can I dot both of them? Can I dot, like for me, like I'm group 2, so I stay with fire. when they do the first split. And I'm like, okay, once they come back to the center, can I dot deep blue before I go off to red hot and we start doing our fire snaking? And it just feels so rewarding to kind of, do that, get that kind of optimization down for a fight like this.
Yeah, and every job has to do it a different way.
Yeah,
it kind of couples that as well with the fact that some of them will leave sometimes, right? Like Deep Blue will leave to do his little like water slides on the waves. He'll go surf for a little bit and stuff like that. So you're also not like, you don't get to fall into this rhythm of, okay, 30 seconds go by, I redot these guys, or 45 with the bar dots. Sometimes you will do it, sometimes you won't, and it feels like really active to kind of optimize your DPS on the fight, because you need to know the fight really well to know when it's worth it. And I think that's interesting.
Especially in the beginning, our static, some of our static saying, please, before Red Hot goes away, please don't dot him before he goes away.
Yeah.
Stop all dots. And then Deep Blue comes in. I mean, Deep Blue comes in. All right, resume.
Yeah. It's just, I'm glad to see them do it again. And I'm glad, and the thing is they did it for the first time in a long time and did it really well. Again, like Rinon said, you can't just fall into a rhythm of doing the same thing like nonstop. Every little like phase and the way they move and the way you have to. And it's even if you do get it down, the order of whether they do stack, spread, tank buster for snaking can change if I'm able to do certain things at certain times. Like I said, I need them lined up if I want to Apex Blast, but if it's tank buster first, then my 100 gauge shows up there. So I try to squeeze it in right as the tank buster is hitting by aiming across the room, but I have to make sure I don't get to the next spot too late and get killed by something. So I have to make sure I'm moving with them. And then I see the fucking melees doing this weird ass triangle trying to hit him as he swirls through the middle. Yeah. I've seen
I've done it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I've done it. Quick thing. Again, a theme for melees in this tier is greed. Yep. For me, especially during snaking, but both water and fire snaking, because that's a ones for me. And the theme for me in particular this tier is figuring out when the fuck to Stardiver.
Yeah, I've seen a few Stardiver memes in Prague.
I'm like, okay, I can get this. Okay, he's going into Tank Buster. Okay, I can get this. Nope, he will go right to where he is.
Yep. And
I fucking hated it. Like, I'm like, God, I hate holding this, but fuck. Okay, fine. Or during Proteans, like, I try to play it safe on Proteans because, like, I'm next to the tank and I don't want to kill him. So, like, once it happens, I'm good.
You will learn in time.
Bro, like, I did learn. I'm like, okay, I'll just, I'll play it safe. I won't greed too much here. Because, the DPS check is not that bad. So I can at least play it safe and still get my ones off and twos off, like, without any, being punished.
I'm dreading when I try this fight on melee. I'm gonna die to literally everything you've mentioned. I'm gonna die.
Our raid lead had a thing, like right as the first pull happens, because he saw it coming for the fire. He just said to the raid, "Okay, everybody, take a shot when Slide jumps into the fire." Like, this is like after the rear bait and everything. And I'm like thinking, okay, I'm going to the edge of the hitbox. Nope, right in the fire. Take a shot. I'm like, please get him out of there. Please get him out of there as fast as possible so I can do shit.
Yeah, all the melees in my group very much have enjoyed optimizing on this fight, and especially on the next fight. All the melees I know have really enjoyed playing the third fight, which is a stark difference. Mechanically, in terms of the second fight, it definitely still has M6 energy, but at more individual points. There's no like Yan phase.
Yeah.
But there are actually so many individual parts where something can go wrong.
Especially during like the last, I would say 40 to 30% of the fight is where I see a lot of PFs like ruin it. Like everything would be perfect. And then maybe one or two people die. for the either the swaps or hell, the Protean baits. When somebody messes that up.
Protean baits, when you have half of the, when the arena splits, and you're on either half, and then Deep Blue will jump to one half. Every single time I get to that mechanic in PF, I just clench and hope. Every time.
No.
It's just reverse. Not even, in my opinion, it's just reverse. Regular is
not
easy
even the
to
split,
reverse, though.
Not even the split Protean bait. I'm talking about your go to
the
your
end of the fight. Like, you have a fire bait, and it's just asking you to do reverse. Yeah, at that point, it's the oh my god, we might actually clear, and then fucking destroy it.
Nope. It sucks so bad. I've seen I was watching so many groups do it last night, and I'm like, oh my god, y'all had it right until that point.
It's gotten to the point, Sly, where something we considered doing week 1, I'm hearing, is becoming more common, and that's you tank LB3 and just walk all onto the same fucking side and just say, fuck it, I'm not doing that.
Just sacrifice the caster LB for that?
If it means everyone's alive and you don't have any weaknesses, yeah.
I mean, if the damage is there, sure, but
the tank LB and walk through the fire line is becoming more and more the norm from my understanding of things.
We never thought of it in prog, but somebody in our group brought it up after prog, and everybody was like, we would have done that if we'd thought of it at the time, because it makes the mechanic so easy if you just heal through it, right?
Yeah.
It's super simple.
We did have the discussion and decided against doing it, and then week 2 we were like, we should have just fucking done that, man.
Healers heal, Madge.
Yeah.
OCE does fuck the dot strat where the healers just heal the raw dot. That's fucked. That dot hits very hard.
Damn, healers adjust. Wow.
Yeah, people are, because as soon as you're all on the same side, doing that mechanic it's just like doing it normally. Like, there's really no issue at all. It's really just how big the angle gets for the people on the opposite side that causes issues. We struggle. I don't know about you. We struggled with reverse more than anything. We just found that the way they rotated,
I did a little bit too.
Really bad.
I did a little bit too, not gonna lie.
I think that mechanic is easy to just get psyched out on. It just scares people, It's like right at the end of the fight, the lines on the floor are a bit difficult to see, so people just kind of drop their marbles pretty easily on it.
There are lines.
I'm sorry, my raid lead just sent me the fuck, like, LMAO fuck the dot, toss extra mitts and heals raid plan. Yeah, I can see why you would do. Oh my god. Yeah.
I actually had a discussion about this, and somebody brought up a point that I had never considered before. So this very much screams Doom Train, because Doom Train's become hyper mit, hyper heal through the 5th train car, I think it is, the 4th train car, where it's, the rotating AoE, and you got to go up and down, and group 1, group 2, blah, 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 whatever it's called, Arcane Revelation.
Arcane Revelation,
yeah. And I was like, I would never trust the PF with something like that, because you need to make sure everyone's got MIT. There's a tank LB3. Everyone's like, I guess I wouldn't trust either way. I'd just expect it to go wrong. But it's like, if there's any, I would never trust PF. And someone was like, counterpoint, nobody in PF uses their mitigation on anything else, so they'll have it there. And I was like,
that's a good point.
Holy
I
shit.
have no rebuttal. You're correct. And now I'm completely on board. If you just tell everyone to have all their mitts for one thing, they can do that. It's using it everywhere else that doesn't happen.
At least then it gets used once instead of 0. That's kind of a win, actually.
Yeah. You can guarantee there's at least one use for the mitts. And it's there. And that's kind of the same for the firewall in PF. It's, you know what? You tell everyone to have mitts and heals there, they'll make sure they have it. So it just ends up kind of working out,
Yeah.
Overall, though, great fight. I think for me, it was the highlight fight of the tier, which after M6, I'm not too surprised to have the second fight be the highlight fight. I think
for me as well, actually, in terms of execution, M10 was the one I remembered the most fondly, for sure.
Yeah.
Really fun to do.
Then we move on to M11. Now, this fight has actually kind of like M7, very mixed opinions.
I don't know about that.
I'm just telling you that the general consensus is mixed. Not my consensus.
I have heard people hate this fight. Like I've heard a lot of people say that.
I can see why.
This fight.
I can really obviously see why. But it's so fun though. It's so fun. It's a good fight.
Like, for me at least, I'm not super into the first phase because I'm so over this thing that Square Enix love to do on third turns where they go, okay, we are going to give you 3 visual telegraphs. Only 3. They are going to have a protean, a stack, and maybe a spread. We are going to show those 12 times in a row. Do them. I'm like so over that. I need a break from it. Everything else I thought was actually really good.
That generally is where a lot of it comes into. I saw the comment, this fight looks like it was developed using AI. I saw that because it's I've seen quite a few comments. I actually really like that first part because in exchange for it being mechanically tough, it's kind of just a lot of damage instances and sometimes very unintuitive movement, or what feels like naturally unintuitive, which kind of forces you a little bit out of your comfort zone. So I end up really liking it for that reason.
Yeah, then again,
I do think it's a good healing challenge, to be fair.
And the melee's got to do a lot of work there. Our melees love that fight. Like they love.
I do. Like all of it. Again, me and my raid lead, we have melee brain. We're trying to fucking greed. We have ended up killing people because of our greed. Like, we're just trying to figure out where we can do shit. And like, that's the fun part, is just, doing, like, figuring out what can we do? What can we get away with, within the limits. And then in terms of like, kind of like what is it? M8? No, I'm sorry. M7, excuse me.
Yeah.
M7 was not as movement heavy. I mean, movement heavy, but not as movement heavy as M11. M11, there are a lot of curse fucking patterns for melee.
There's a lot of curse patterns in general. I'll tell you that.
In general, for specific groups, like there are a lot of curse patterns, and you just fucking hate it. And it's like either like hope you have expedience, and then pop sprint. Like expedience is really fucking good. Yeah, like Rinon, I get what you're saying with the copy paste, stack spread.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I get it. I mean, I feel like it for the first half of the fight, it does it well.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like, I do have to say in its defense, it does 2 things really well, right? First of all, whilst it's not like imaginative, it is really interesting to execute for a lot of different jobs. And secondly, they don't bring it back as the last mechanic of the fight, because that would have annoyed me. So the fact that both of those are true makes it much more okay than some of the times they've done it in the past, like with Themis even.
Yeah, Themis was fighting an uphill battle from being fucking Fatebreaker 2.0 anyway. Like, that was... He had a lot. He had a lot working against them.
Fatebreaker because it was the first time, maybe not the second time.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, even as a ranged, like and you know what the thing is, as a range, I was like, dude, at least I don't have to worry about nearly as much of this shit. I was like, yo, I got run around. I got cast times.
You got room for arts and crafts. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I got room to drop the baits in front of the melees while they're trying to rotate, and then I could just get the fuck out of there. I was like, my call was always good luck melees, and then I would just drop my AoE, and then they'd be like, I think you meant to say fuck you with melee.
Our caster had a strategy board simply just for the melees, and it was just one sentence with the melees in like their positions. Melees don't kill each other. That was it. It just had like the melees and the tanks. Yeah, like good strat. Thanks.
I procced that fight on Astro, and because you have light speed for every time that happens, it was kind of like nothing, like kind of whatever, right? You can just free movement. You're basically a fizz range there. And then I went into PF after we cleared on White Mage, and I suddenly realized, oh my God, this is actually hard. Because suddenly
Wow.
you
Wait, an Astro going White Mage and suddenly having a worse experience? Never heard that before.
Again, a theme being great, especially during Charybdis, aka Cardi B, as our tank likes to call it. Especially at the end when he goes to the middle, I'm like, okay, I can get a GCD in before going to my twister. No, because I'll end up killing my healer. Like I can't, like you can't squeeze it in. I've tried so many times, and we're like, okay, I'm just not gonna grade it. I'm just gonna toss spears until I can go back in.
Oh yeah, Whoops is a big fan of Piercing Talon. Let me tell you. Yeah, that first section I think is still really well done. It's in a tier that does not ask a lot of traditional 14 stuff. That first fight actually asking it because it's like the first real instance of it throughout the entire tier. It doesn't feel like it's overstayed its welcome as an idea, or it's unwelcome for me. And I like the pacing of that first bit because the fight feels like it goes so quick. That first 40% just disintegrates in terms of like your prog, like pull to pull prog time. At least it did for me. So I felt that way about top 2, to be fair, but we all know how that turned out.
One thing I did want to ask for both of your groups, because this is something like, because everybody was saying, you know, how M11 is so tight in terms of damage. Something we really had to think about, and like think about mitigation, think about healing, was, you know, the not using mitigation on certain things to build LB. Did your groups have to go through that strat?
No. Do we just want to live?
Think about it. Like we went full damage comp, right? So we kind of had the advantage. We had like a very stacked 2-minute comp, so the check kind of fell over. So we just stayed alive and it died, kind of thing.
Yeah, because our group is like, we've been kind of testing the waters with, okay, what mitigation can we get away with not using to kind of build LB3, and then, you know, LB at the meteor phase when it happens, and then, you know, have another LB by the time we get to you know, final towers and everything. That's something we've been thinking about.
No, I mean, I can see the idea, but in my opinion, if you're at the point where that's a consideration, something else, I'd sooner change something else or just tighten everything up.
No, I mean, we're still progging, so we're at the beginning, like we were, because we're thinking it's tighter than. I mean, we're just thinking it's a tight DPS check, so we're like, why not have that in our back pocket? Is what we're saying.
It's just that playing better will always be. Oh, sorry, I just thought I had a message. It's just how was I say? Tightening up play will always be far superior than having another LB3.
Right.
Yeah, I think the one thing you can do quite easily is, I think it's the last buffs at like 10 minutes. I think you can hold those with potion till like 10:30, and you just get to have it with potion at the end for free. I think that's like an easy optimization you can do in that fight. Otherwise,
or
it's just
you do the 1 minute pot during meteor rain, and then just it'll automatically line up.
That's the other thing people do, right? Like they do either 06, 10:30, or they do like the second pot of 5, and then you can use the last 2s at the normal time, kind of thing. Those are like the 2 options.
It's funny you say that, because like, I every time I think about like my meteors, because like melee first, I'm like, yeah, I do have a pot here. I kind of want to test the waters and just press it just for shits and gigs. And
yeah, in proc we sent it though. We sent it during meteors for the second potions.
Yeah, that's what we did too. Which is funny, because as weeks go on, you really don't have a choice but to do that. Like that's like a week 2 and on, because you'll probably not even see 10:30 into the fight after a couple weeks.
Yeah, you'll start skipping it real quick.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, especially since there's a lot of I guess damage fall off during arena split.
Yeah,
I think that's where the damage fall off pretty much starts, is during arena, especially during prog.
Yeah. Because you'll have a lot of people like either not confident, and obviously you want them to play safe on the mechanic, and also it's just there's downtime because people are getting knocked, and then there's downtime because they pull out of melee for their bait and stuff like that. It all adds up kind of thing.
But yeah, see, the thing is, like, there's the either or of doing your pot at like Meteor Rain, or you do your pot at the 2 minutes at arena split when it starts, and get everything off and before going out and doing all your things. So it's just a matter of either or.
Yeah, and that second half of that fight is so fun too. Oh, what was that?
Yeah, it's really good. I just said you get to pick your poison basically for the potion.
Yeah, and after you get past that first like 4 minutes or so, again, they kind of just keep the same exact cadence as normal mode, but just kind of like Meteor Rain is way more involved. The arena split is way more dangerous, and then even just something as simple as orbital is a little frightening in a sense, in terms of the movement.
I think like for the average player in terms of consistency, orbital's probably the hardest mechanic in that fight. Whenever you see that mechanic done in PF, if 8 out of 8 get through it clean, I'm always like, wow, this is a really good party kind of thing.
Oh, it feels good when 8 out of 8 gets it, but like like seeing that 1 or 2 or 3 damage down, it's like, okay, we can, like, nobody's dead. We can live. We can live with it.
That's honestly for 99% best case scenarios. Are we all alive? Sure. What is the damage down in that fight? I think it's 30% in the first fight, but I actually don't know what it is in the other fights.
I am not sure, but I think the 12 one's 50, so this one's probably 40.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. The big thing is when it just lands not crisp and clean at like, like when they're not like all like directly northeast, they're like shifted over a little bit. That's where it gets people. It feels like more than anything, because you can easily use like markers or the ground to do the ones when they're like perfectly in line, but sometimes they're just not, and that's when people really get hit, and it's very frightening.
Yeah, thank God for her name, Victoria, who came up with the strat that a lot of people are using. The go to the second set of meteors, like make sure he's facing. That's
a good video.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I was like, oh my god, that's so smart. I wish I would have thought of that. That's so smart.
What is? I haven't watched anything. I just don't.
So the strat is basically make sure the boss is facing north for like the front back AOE. Yeah. The set of line AoEs will come out. You go to the second set, so that quadrant. You go to that quadrant, being safe from the north south AoEs.
Okay.
You the first AoE goes off. You move in, and then you move back instantly, and you will not get hit.
On every pattern as well. And so like your movement is always, you're just walking through the hitbox and back every time with no thought, and it always works.
Yeah. And then there's you kind of get the blessed one where you just move once and you just don't have to move again.
I like it. I think somebody in my raid team brought it up, but we didn't change to it this week. So I knew there was something where it's like face. That was what they were talking about then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And that's again, dude, sometimes people are just really smart.
Yeah, they are.
The problem, so that's this is why I don't do guides anymore, by the way, because there's so many smart people. And here's what happens. You put the guide out week one, and you're like, wow, this is really, I'm pretty proud with what we figured out. And then someone figures out that really smart way. And then you're like, well, the problem is now if I make a second video, everyone's already watched the first video. And then so many people don't bother watching the second video. And this is what happens. This is why people get mad at Hector, because he puts out what the PF strat is, and then a new PF strat comes out, so he puts out a second video. But then the PF just says Hector, and they don't fucking specify which one. So everyone's like, well, I've got this one. I've got this one. I've got this one. It's like, well, he's trying to update the guide so it's up to date, but people haven't learned it.
I'm okay. I'm okay with like Hector not updating guides, because even at the beginning, Like nobody pays attention to it though. Warning: these are week 1 strats. Some better strats will probably come out later during prog, and you should probably do those. Nobody listens to those. Nobody.
No, but here's the thing. Then when they say, "Hey, you should make an updated guide," he does it, and then this is what happened. I remember this. I've been through this song and dance before.
My favorite thing that happened this tier with strats on the raid plan is I think it was the 11 raid plan changed the way that they did a mechanic.
But the name was the same.
Because there's no like new version or new link or anything like that. You would have half the party doing the new version and half the party doing the old version. No one is communicating with each other and everyone just dies. It was so rough.
See, here's the thing. What I've seen, and I kind of noticed this, especially with after Arena Split going into Stampede, there are so many ways. I mean, not really so many, but I would say so many ways it's explained, but it's explained differently so many ways, but essentially, like Hap said, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, basically.
And it confuses the fuck out of people. So I'm like, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, essentially, this is the same thing, but you just worded it differently.
Yeah. That's not what's happening here. It is the kindred strat. There's kindred markers, but there's different markers, but they're both kindred.
Yeah,
but nobody.
Kindred and
it's the Hector
friends.
problem, but with kindred's name on it, where he's just like, listen, I put this out there, use it. Oh, but I also put this new thing out there, use it. That I don't understand. June Bob did this, and this is never a problem. June Bob would always put out like updated things.
No.
But nobody made this mistake.
Here's the thing that people are mad with Hector, and I think some of my raid are mad with Hector. Like Hector was like, okay, here's the kindred waymarks. Okay, can you give us the strat with the kindred? No, we didn't use those. We did something completely different. Why the fuck did you not? Then why the fuck even put it out there?
This is why being a guide maker is just the worst. And then what? At the end of it all,
I don't think you can win as a guide maker.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
You have to
I
accept.
I feel sorry for you, Rinon. I feel sorry for Happy. I feel sorry for Hector. I feel sorry for all of you.
Jitter's about to call in to crash out because he actually has been PFing on like 3 different characters all of week 2, and actually he PF'd 2 characters on week 1 and is PFing 2 again this week. So. We did do a podcast with Hector. We talked about this exact thing. We had this discussion already.
You want a final Arcadian edition with Hector? I mean, sure, maybe. I don't know. Just for entertainment. God.
It was group therapy. It really was. Him and I just we got into it. Like we were it was like our top support group after the fact, but it was just guide maker support group.
Me and Hector did another podcast like a year or 2 ago, and it was the exact same thing.
Yep.
We were just like, man, it sucks, doesn't it? You're gonna get flamed.
It is rough out there for y'all.
And at the end of it all, there's just a raid plan that is completely irrelevant to everything you did, and you're like, please, just use it. Just get me out of the conversation, please. The PF latches. Oh, trust me. After Zelenia, Brain Dead Zelenia, I understood the PF could not be trusted. I understood entirely that the PF could not be trusted.
Is that the one where they gap close to the
Yes,
box?
that's the one where they gap close.
Oh, yeah,
and if you don't have a gap closer, you sure better be fucking fast.
Yeah.
Dumbest thing I've ever seen. And nobody knows what brain dead means because brain dead really means brain fucking on as much as possible. Oh.
Why do I not remember that?
Because you probably stopped doing it before you ever were exposed to doing brain dead Selenia. Oh. Oh yeah, Fru fixed towers. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh my god, DSR 611. Oh no, it's all coming back. Every one of DSR 611 has caused so many wipes. It's unbelievable.
We don't do that over here.
No.
We do 332.
Fuck. Oh god, I'm lightheaded. Oh god, I
I feel like y'all need this. Do y'all need something? I mean, I have everything for you. Do y'all need something? Like, what do you need? What do you want? What do you want? Like y'all need this more than me. Holy shit.
Woosa. Was that Bad Boys 2? Woosa.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway. So back to M11.
Yes.
M11.
We haven't even really talked. Yeah,
we talked about the second half.
The first half. Yeah, we haven't really and it starts with arena split. That's where everything kind of begins.
Yeah, because like my group did something that I figured no one was going to do for Meteor Rain, where we just went clockwise with the meteors. I was like, people are just going to go back and forth. We did that because we didn't know if the meteors were blowing up were going to affect the next meteor. Like we didn't bother fixing it once we did it. So like the back and forth meteor there is good.
Quick tangent on that.
Yeah.
Quick tangent on that. Is it because like when I think of meteors, I think back to Nail. Especially Nail. Because I don't think Nail had the exact same meteor explosion. And or did it Nail didn't have a meteor explosion because there was no line AoE. So again, greed. Because
I'm still trying to figure out what meteors, and because the only meteors in Nail are downtime meteors, so I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about here. That's where I'm getting lost.
Like, here's the thing. Because Meteor Rain is a 1 minute. We talked about it. Meteor Rain is 1 minute. And I like pushing buttons during my 1 minutes.
That you can.
No, I can't. Because meteors explode, and I have animation lock.
Well, eat shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
See? Took shots because of Stardiver.
Yep. There you go. Stardiver into the meteor. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
That AoE would go up, because I thought the AoE would go off much faster than it actually did. And it's like, no, it takes its time.
Yeah, it's a little slower than you think. You can also move the moment the cast bar finishes. It's one of those where you can get ahead of the explosion, like way ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it can look horrifying, but you can do it. So that's just eat shit, Sly. That's it.
Pretty
Meteor
much.
diver. Yeah. Yeah, but the arena split is like so frightening. In terms of doing it the way the PF is, which is the PF's doing it the way we ended up doing it week 1, which is just, the people without tethers bait close, and then you have the tethers on the outside on each side, and then they're inside. But the margin for error is so fucking small.
Yeah,
but here's the thing:
clench moment in PF, like every pull, it's just watch HP bars. Does anybody die? If no, oh my god, breaks big sigh of relief every.
But
time.
Then you realize there's a second one.
Yeah.
And during Prague, like we've been doing, we try to save LB3 for this, like just in case, like we can save it, and it usually does not go the way that we want it to.
Well, the thing is like if one person dies at all, you have two possible outcomes. Outcome one is there's a reser on their side who sees that they're on the same side and can res the person on the correct side so towers don't fail. Or all your resers get sent to one fucking side and you have no option but to heal LB just to res one person, or the mechanic's going to fall apart anyway.
Yeah.
That's too much decision making for a lot of people. And quite frankly, it's given that if it happens on the first one and there's a second one, you don't really feel good about knowing your lifeline is now already gone. And then on the second one, if a healer dies and it targets two people on the other side, then you're double. Like if the targeting gets fucked on the stack damages, then you're also screwed. So.
And so both of you, again, we're talking about like the different strats, like the PF strat, which is, kind of widely accepted. But then, again, the strats, there are a lot of them. Hell, even Rinon has one.
Yep.
Rinon has one.
They got
And
flame
we had
for
to
it.
think about that
Yeah.
one too. we had to really like, we're like, man, it kind of seems simple. We should probably, do you want to? Like, no, okay.
I think like the problem with that mechanic kind of goes back to the same problem that M10 has, where I think it's a lines on the floor issue that kind of, to be blunt, fucks with people. Where at least for me, I don't know if this is true for everyone else, I cannot find any lines on the floor that give you clear indicator of where you should stand to do that mechanic. So it becomes a stand directly on the corner of the markers mechanic, or find like some asinine strat that will make it easier in some way. I think
It depends on what your markers actually are. This is we're gonna have a marker strat. We can't do this. We can't have a marker strat.
But like at the northern and southern ends, there are kind of midway lines to kind of demarcate like the midway point.
Yeah, the problem is there are lines, but they're nowhere near the spots where you're standing to do the
spot
mechanic.
where you need to be. Yeah, that's the problem.
So yeah. That's definitely a thing. I've actually taken to straight up looking at the portal, because then I can tell. Like, I basically just know I'm either in, like, I know I'm not in line with it. I'm like one
in
off.
front or in back.
Yeah. So that answers it for me, because ours is like dead center of the marker, 1 square or 2 squares over. That's like how our markers are for our static. But there's no line on the floor, so you gotta fucking know. Like, there's nothing else you can really do about it.
Line up with the marker.
Yeah.
Line up with the marker. That's it.
And the safe spot, it's a safe spot for ants, the way that it ends up panning out. Too far to the left, dead. Too far to the right, dead.
I think for our first kill, it was kind of a marker strat, but not entirely, where we would just have people look at the portals behind them to bait the preys, right? You would just, if the portals are in the middle, the preys go out. If the portals are out, the preys go in, kind of thing. But that's like too many things to be paying attention to, I think, for like Party Finder consistently as well. Like you're looking at like 4 different things at a time, and it's a bit much, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah,
that's definitely the make or break. But I mean, even the very final mechanic has a lot of make or break fail points to it, where you're like doing the ranged baits into the dropped AoEs, into the snake prio towers, into the baits, into 4-way, 2-way. There's a lot of fail points even in that last bit, which are really, really frightening. Even if it's been discovered that ranged can bait pretty much everything during the phase that involves leaving the boss, except for like 2 tanks have to be targeted. I think it is. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice little revelation.
I actually didn't know till today that apparently it's obviously the preys can't get tethers, but also it's the people closest to the center of each tower apparently gets the tethers. So you can just fix it on 2 tanks and a ranged and a healer, or 2 ranged, depending on who gets targeted by the preys, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's strange that PF hasn't swapped to that, knowing that is like how it works now.
Yeah. But that's like, all of these things still feel very in line with the pacing of the normal mode fight, and I love that, because then it goes into what everyone thought was the logical enrage. Everyone's like, oh, this brute justice thing is almost certainly the enrage and savage, and yeah. And that's
like at its core, this kind of feels like Stampede kind of feels like like we were talking about in M10, like the end of M10, like where you could pretty much fuck up the fight right before which essentially what is your victory lap. And even then, because of mitigation and how you set, like depending on how you set it up, you can still fuck up towers in the end.
Yep. And I love the pressure. There's so much pressure in so many parts of that fight, even the easier parts. And that's what I really like about it. It's a high pressure fight where there's just so much that can go wrong, but it's really fun to do. It's a big
execution fight, and some things are recoverable, but you have to play really well to recover them. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then of course the other part of that discussion is the DPS check. I'm not convinced that they tune this fight up. I think people just don't realize how badly they do during arena split and the last bit. Like, it's not just about uptime. I think that I think people are vastly underestimating how not well they're playing at certain spots, myself included. I'm sure I'm just so fucking nervous about it going wrong that I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah,
and I'm not even thinking about it
anyone,
at the time.
Anyone going for their first clear, you're probably clipping your GCDs. When you get to the one mechanic that you're not 100% confident, you're probably not even pressing it half the time. Like you're playing bad. Everyone is. It just is what it is. You know, you're going to play bad at first until you're comfortable. I think as people gain confidence, stat check is not going to become a thing that people are concerned about anymore, especially with an extra week or two of gear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like that had to be the intention, like in terms of the designs, like know that like, yeah, this is going to be a big quote unquote downtime kind of phase, to where like you choose, greed over safety.
Yeah.
Right. Doing the actual mechanic rather than, pressing GCDs, pressing a button, pick a button, and actually getting the mechanic off and like everyone surviving. Like,
oh yeah, they definitely want you to make that choice. They want you to like think how far do I have to toe the line or toe the line even, or how far can I get away with this stuff whilst being safe, or if I do this, does it risk anything? But I get a GCD out of it, kind of thing. Like they want you to think that in later turns for sure.
Yeah,
right.
And that's going back. I mean, that's what they wanted to differentiate, because Endwalker didn't have those decisions at all.
No,
they just didn't exist at any point. Like maybe Ketaduk or something, like in Criterion, there's like a decision here or there, but really not. You kind of have freebies, and it's just make sure you do it correct, and you'll probably, you'll hit the boss pretty much all the time. There's definitely some piercing talent moments in Criterion. Criterion definitely has some piercing talent moments.
You said Endwalker never had anything like this?
Nothing even remotely close to what Dawn Trail has. That's because Endwalker's hitboxes are enormous. The mechanics, like I can think of one mechanic I got annoyed at in Abyssos as a melee, and it was when you get marked in phase 2 of P8 for like a tower that's not in the first 2 rows. Like that's it. That's all I can really think of. Everything else was free as fuck. Like a few things like Proto Carbuncle dashing and optimizing on gap closers there without getting killed were kind of fun, but for the most part, it just wasn't really a thing.
I'm trying to think of the one from Athena phase 2. Not caloric.
Fucking caloric.
It was before caloric 2 or after?
Classical elements.
I don't remember any mechanic in that fight except classical and caloric. Oh my god!
There's also Pangenesis. Pangenesis is the debuff one.
Pangenesis.
Pangenesis is after caloric 1, but before caloric 2. That's the middle point.
Yeah. Pangenesis is like one where you really kind of like. I felt like that's one where you kind of like.
You could still completely uptime Pangenesis though.
But like, progging. Yeah, that's one where you.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And especially caloric 2.
Caloric 1, 2 is at least way easier than caloric 1, but we don't need to get into that right now. Fucking caloric. I've never thought a mechanic is a good idea and a horrible idea at the same time, as much as I do with caloric.
Preach.
It's like, wow, that's a cool idea. That's fucking
more than caloric.
Renan, you missed it. You missed it the other time we were talking about this. Caloric was sometimes horrible for me. As a controller player, if you have a bad controller.
You drift.
Yeah.
No. Stick drift.
I had the exact same thing, and I had to swap controllers mid-prog because once I accidentally moved without meaning to move the drift, and I was like, no, I'm getting I'm not doing this.
That's so funny to die to caloric because of fucking stick drift.
Because stick drift, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Maybe someone's got a sticky E key or something for keyboard too. That's like stick drift. All right. Anyway, M11 though, I'm a fan. Like I said, I know some people really don't like it, even beyond the first 4 minutes. I just know people who aren't a big fan. I think it's very well executed, and it's very in line with. For me, again, M7 is kind of the same. The DNA of M7 Savage is almost completely identical to normal mode.
Yeah.
Minus the death cage, the vine. But it's like it's so well paced and done that I love it. And I kind of get that same feeling here, personally.
I feel like between M7 and M11, I feel like the first half of M11 was definitely much faster. I mean,
Yeah.
M7 had a lot of movement, but M11 is like, no, you need to be out like that. Like, yeah, expedience definitely helps. Like if you have expedience, great. But yeah, sprint is your best friend.
Yeah,
this is definitely one of those fights that made me feel that wow, they're really making use of your movement tools. A lot of times you feel like you don't need it and you can just kind of have it as a convenience. This time I really felt like if you're on the wrong side, you need sprint or something for movement for this, or it's gonna get sketchy really quickly.
Yep. And I know, speaking of movement skills, dude, I'm a certified repelling shot user. I love dodging things with repelling shot, even if I have no need. And there's so many opportunities, both here and in other fights, to repelling shot and have it be such a logically good choice. So, like, apparently, by the way, PF does not do melee uptime all the time for the sword dance mechanic, for Dance of Domination, where he does the sword slashes a bunch. Apparently, they do true quadrants or something. Yeah, when he slashes a bunch of times.
The slashes a bunch of times in the the M4, like looks like the end of M4.
I guess. Yeah. Sword dance.
Lines.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been told they do
really?
true quadrants, and it's like, so as a melee, you can end up going out. And I was like,
why?
I've been told this by
PF. It's always uptime, at least in EU PF. I don't know what NA's doing though. maybe they're doing something different.
Yeah, my group is
they always range so far in EU.
Yeah, for me, because I'm melee too, and I'm usually with our Dark Knight. It's for it's like C or B, and C is like dead south, B is east. So that's those, like, it could be either one of those, and it's that simple. And I can keep uptime.
All I know is that Jitter, who's PF'd like on 3 separate characters already, he like hates the way the PF does that, and I'm just like, what are they doing that isn't just put the melees in the spots? I think it was just because it might just be because one is relative to the thing. So like, instead of just being north or east or west or south safe spot, you have to like look at the direction of it and move into a spot. So that might be what it is, but he's still melee uptime. We literally just have our melees plant in one of 2 spots, and then our ranged have to fuck all the way off, which I use repelling shot for, by the way.
Wow.
Actually, I need to ask a question about this mechanic, because I need to make sure I'm not crazy. During the mechanic you were just talking about, so you know the way that you figure out the safe spot, right? At least to me, the logical thing is to find what's different, which is one of the lines is missing, right?
Yes.
Right.
And you would use
the box goes a certain way.
We use that as north, right? That's the new north. Go to your spots.
Yeah.
Apparently PF uses that as south, and I cannot comprehend it. So every time I do it now, I have to go do the mechanic wrong, do the mechanic wrong, do the mechanic wrong. And it's the only way I can do it, because they use it as south instead of north, and it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, why are they're looking at the helmet instead of how you put the helmet on?
Yeah, exactly. They're looking at like the mid, like the 3 lines instead of the one non-line, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's weird. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I don't either.
We use it as north. We use it as north, and then I was go right, and then everyone else, every other range had their assignment. Find the house. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, it's you're not finding the opening of the cup, you're finding the top of the helmet.
Again, like you have to like, I have melee brain. First you unga, and then maybe you bunga, or then like we keep it simple. You Sly, you're either going to C or B. You in the Dark Knight area, you can go in C or B. Those are your spots. You're welcome. That's all I need.
Yeah,
that's all I fucking need. And have uptime. You're free to keep hitting the boss.
I have cat.
You have cat.
They're getting mad because their feeding time is an hour ago, and I haven't fed them.
They're gonna eat you. Stay
the realm. He's also been in here all day without causing any issues, shockingly. So, and he's the big troublemaker of the bunch. So proud of him. Yeah, no, that boggles my mind. The top of the helmet thing. No, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Stop it, PF. And I thought Uptime Sunrise was the worst thing the PF had ever done. If no, among them. Don't know what fucking hate Uptime Sunrise. Anyway, Now we move on to M12, which a little divisive, depending on who you ask still. Not nearly as, I think M11 is by far the most divisive, but M12, I predicted correctly. Say it right now.
What was your prediction about it? I forget.
That it was a door boss. I was like, now is when they door boss. Now's the time. And while I don't think the door boss portion of this is as good as Athena, which I think Athena and X-Death are the bars for success for the first door boss phase. In my own personal opinion, those are the two like best ones. X-Death, the best of all time, in all honesty.
Oh, of all time. Yeah.
Yeah. And
down.
Athena, the best like modern door boss, personally. She's better than fucking most of the other ones, Sly. I'll give her that.
Athena is crazy good.
Yeah. That's a great door boss.
I'm sorry, I just have PTSD with Athena.
But this is before caloric, Sly. We're not talking about caloric.
We're talking about limit cutting all the bullshit and super chain and everything. And yeah, I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this one I was pleased with this one. I would describe my experience with Lindworm Phase 1 as pleased.
Now, going back to what we were talking about earlier with preparation, with the final fight, it's kind of hard to really quote unquote prepare. There's certain things you can probably, peter out in terms of predicting. And then like for the final fight, you kind of have to throw all of that out the window because it's the final fight.
Yeah.
What did y'all think in terms of the comparison from normal to Savage?
I think so. First of all, I got the prediction wrong. I thought it wouldn't be a door boss, but it would be like Titan Maximum, where it transitions at like 70%, and then we first hit the boss, and we were like, oh, this does way too much damage. It's definitely a door boss. Within like 10 seconds of pulling.
I mean, it could have been like Howling Blade. You could have held on to hope.
True, yeah. I think we lost the cope way before that, though. We were like, no, this is the door boss for sure. I think the interesting thing about Lindworm is it's actually kind of less different from the normal mode than I expected it to be. Mm-hmm. But I don't see that as a bad thing, because a lot of it is just, again, the normal mode mechanics scaled up with extra factors added rather than there being too many completely new phases. And yet all of the mechanics are really fun to execute, even if they're quite intuitive to understand and the puzzles are like pretty quick to solve. It's just a really fun, good standard execution fight, which kind of puts it in a different boat to the second part, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
And I think it helps. I think but I think it helps that Lindworm does a metric fuck ton of damage.
Oh yeah. Hits like a truck.
Yeah. The Fixer is so insanely hard hitting for a raid wide.
It's like Savage. Week 1 Shiva, like EAS Shiva.
It's absolute zero, but multiple times throughout the fight. Yeah.
God.
Like the orbs, all like everything in that fight hits monstrously hard. So the planning that goes into that portion of it is far more engaging to make up for some of the, I'll say, less engaging portions. It is quite simple to solve, and the puzzle elements are not all too crazy. Like you look at Cruel Coil, and it's not too difficult to figure out at base. Mm-hmm. That's probably the part, and it's also really satisfying to solve Cruel Coil in a sense. It's
fun to do as well. It just makes sense when you do it. It's one of those things that's like, you start off with it's visual overload, it's debuff vomit, and then you break it down and you're like, wow, this makes so much sense. And it feels good to think about as you solve it. And it also feels good to actually do.
Yeah. That's definitely in line with how I felt about Cruel Coil. And just the number of mechanics that he goes through they just kind of go like really fast. There's a lot of like really tight safe spots that are claustrophobic in a sense. Like the fact that they have 2 tanks squeeze into that tiny ass corner during the fucking first big, like the gore things expanding. I'm like, I don't want to, I'm fucking scared for them. And that's not even my mechanic. Like The safe spots are like microscopic to find.
I had suspicions that there must be a third hidden safe spot somewhere because I was like, this almost looks too tight. Like,
Yeah.
do Square have the balls to expect you to squeeze that tight? But it turns out they do.
Yeah, they sure did. And he's got balls aplenty. He just shoots you all with balls. That's how I call that mechanic. I go balls 1 and balls 2.
We get told to ponder the orbs. That's what we get told.
That's a far more adult way of handling that call out than balls. That's it. I literally, I get to 89%, and I say balls, and that's it. That's the call. Yeah, it's one of those fights where it's hard to even say a lot about it, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just intuitive enough that there's not like an element about it that's why I guess this is what I mean by pleased with it, because I'm not like ecstatic about it, but I'm not disappointed by it. It's just kind of like I'm very neutral about phase 1. I enjoy doing it. It's a good time. And it's also really quick, 7 minutes, so that that door boss just kind of flies by, which I prefer. I prefer my door bosses to feel really quick and snappy. I don't like when they drag on for like 8 to 8.5 minutes. I don't like when they drag on past 4. So,
like, I think that's why a lot of people that have been around since like Stormblood will always remember X-Death very fondly, right? Because he's like a 4-minute fight, and then he's done, and that's like the first iteration of door boss in this game, and ever since then they just slowly bloat more and more and more and more. So I'm glad we're actually reeling it back a bit and taking it from like 8 minutes to 7. I would love to see maybe another minute gone, maybe.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
What did y'all both think of? What did y'all both think of? I'm sorry. What did y'all both think of Lindworm twisting the gimmicky mechanics from normal, aka the
get it twist because of the cruel coil? I get it. That is one cruel coil.
The teleports into the icon on your head, the whatever it's called.
Oh, the little parasite buddy, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Parasite buddy.
Yeah. He's your little pal for a while.
He's your gore buddy.
So normal had the Eden teleports, and they got rid of that in Savage, so they now have the parasite buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the parasite's really cool. The parasite's like another really simple, intuitive mechanic, right? It will tell you which way you will attack later. So just don't hit other people. Forehead is like kind of the resolution. But I think that the way they implement a lot of these mechanics in the fight is just done in such a way that I think, like you mentioned earlier, like claustrophobic is the way that a lot of those AoEs feel. I feel that that's intended to be not just for dodging those AoEs, but for almost all the mechanics in the fight. Like, they limit your safe spots a lot, and then they have you further limit your safe spots as well. Like, I really like in the downtime towers halfway through the fight, you have to swap some of the player positionings in terms of their angle, because the tower AoEs are so big that they will just overlap to other platforms and hit them if you don't angle them right and things like that. They're like very deceptive in the way that the safe spots are smaller than they appear, and I think that's neat. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Would you between the two, between the parasite and Eden teleports, or both, would you have preferred one or the other, or both? Because we had this in Eden Savage. We had the teleports in Eden Savage from normal.
I think it just has to make sense in the fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's fine the way it is, because everything makes sense and it feels like a logical progression, both from normal mode and also the mechanics from one another. So I think it's kind of fine the way that they implemented it in the end.
Yeah. And one thing I like is that they still managed to do the semi-enrage phase from normal without actually doing it. It's just slaughter shed at the end is the effective equivalent of it. And it's just a far more strict positioning check with lots of raid-wide explosions, spread, stack. Like, it's a little traditional 14, but it's also just very visually cluttered. And again, claustrophobic. Followed by, were you paying attention during all that? because boss was doing something the whole time. So I like that they managed to
and then you
squeeze
will
that
fall
in.
off the edge because
and then-
nobody was paying attention.
That's when, if you know it's knockback, but nobody was paying attention, you go knockback, resist the first, dodge the second. You just better hope that it doesn't happen twice, because if it happens twice, then it's a problem. But then we get into Lindworm phase 2. In terms of expecting it, I didn't expect the president as a goo man. That definitely wasn't on my list of guesses for Lindworm phase 2.
No.
They also did the opposite of everything they did for the first 2 tiers. They went from wall boss to not wall boss instead of not wall boss to wall boss. Although I guess Howling Blade is more like a middle of 5 arenas boss, but wall boss, fuck it.
Yeah.
Column
now, I want to get your takes on one thing in regards to the difficulty of phase 2. Some people equate phase 2 to a ultimate light. Would you be in the same realm?
I think to solve, yes, but to execute, no. I think it's definitely in the realm of Savage in terms of execution. It's one of those things that I think the main hurdle of phase 2 is solving the mechanics, and actually doing them is quite a lot easier in terms of like the scaling of the difficulty, personally.
Yeah, the only place that really falls apart is potentially meteors. That's very quick to go wrong, especially because there's not really great indicators of the meteor. Like, I don't know. You had to do the backwind meteor as a healer, Rinon. So that, I don't know if you found that thing as troublesome as we did.
It wasn't too bad, but I always made sure to stand like right at the front of the tower because I was terrified about misangling. And it turned out I only got the mechanic twice in all of Prog, and one of the times was on the clear. So I was like, oh my god, I can't mess this up, kind of thing.
Pressure's on for that one.
It turned out okay. It turned out all right.
Yeah. It's a lot of it's a full puzzle fight. Like for the whole entire 9 minutes. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that means absolutely nothing to you as a player. And then figuring out what all of it means.
A lot of memory to it. A lot, like I feel. Well, I'm not a lot, but specifically for
there's a lot of memory.
There's like, okay, so yeah, like a lot of remembering what was held, what disappeared, this, that, the other. A lot of things that haven't been asked of you as a raider before.
Yeah, I've never been asked to remember things for like 3 to 4 minutes straight. Normally
Yeah.
There's something.
Normally they'll hit you with 30 seconds maybe max, but the amount of memorization and the longevity that they expect you to keep it in mind and then recall it later is kind of crazy for FF14, which is why everyone is resorting to macros. I mean, we use macros as well during Prog, I'm not gonna lie.
We had one macro just for reenact Cardinal and enter card. That's all we had.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, one of my good friends on Noodles, she posted, I can't remember the name, but like there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Well, no, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 8. Excuse me, 8 for all directions. 8 macros on a command panel that basically whichever you got, you just click the macro and that would help you remember, basically everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think PF might end up doing something. Well, they might have that as a resource for whatever strat they end up doing, honestly, because I think that will make it very comfortable for a lot of people.
Or not.
What haps?
Right. They're going to use Cactbot.
What?
You already know they're going to use Cactbot.
Oh, you're right.
They used auto markers for soccer in P9S. They're
like
not
to think
doing
the best of people.
They're using Cactbot. All right. Let's be perfectly honest about it. Ain't no way PF is not resorting to putting the words cactuar cutting in their fucking PFs. All right.
Unfortunately true.
So they shouldn't need it. And macros are more than enough. But they will. They use auto markers for top phase 3 transition. Yep. They will always
Yeah, so the
find
macro, the macros, it just pretty much echoed what you're doing for and marks the defams basically. That's all, pretty much all it did.
Yeah, the only thing. So
Yeah,
in our
we use
prog,
something similar.
what kind of macros? Well, how many did you use? Because we just had it for the reenactment. Otherwise, like the clone and remembering that late. I did it, but you know, it's just I don't know how many other people were memorizing it.
We like made a couple of macros that would just basically tell you where the stacks are right at the end of the fight based on whether you got cardinal or intercardinal. That's all we used basically.
Yeah.
This one says like, this one says clone north, first defam A, stack B, and then has a ignore me as the last little bit of the macro. For example, for one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a lot to remember, but the actual execute, because you got to remember there's like 80 seconds at the start of that phase where effectively nothing has happened because it's just making you remember things. So it's pretty easy to just like be like, oh, I have to do cardinal reenactment later. And oh, the north clone is, you know, you really just need to know where the clone that's hitting north south is for like the entire phase. I think when you don't think about the other two, it just kind of automatically eliminates it. You know that one clone is north south, one clone close to the center is a chariot, and one clone in the other clone is the opposite. And then if you remembered we dodged northwest, northeast, you know where the north south clone is, and then it just goes from there. And that's honestly remembering that's the hardest thing, because the meteor, it's kind of like a sandwich. The things at the beginning you need to know at the end, and the things in the middle you need to know closer to the middle. So the things that are harder to execute are closer to the middle here.
Like the ones that debate people, I think, more than anything, with the north-south cleave and the west-east cleave. I think I've seen so many clear attempt like parties or groups where just nobody remembers which clone is which, and then they all die to the last AoE of the fight, or they all get a damage down. I think that is like deceptively the pain point for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Just because it's almost the first thing they show, and then it's the last thing they do before the end of the fight.
Yeah, that's why remembering the north-south one, that's why that was like a huge prio for me, is remembering where that north-south one is. Because otherwise, it could be far, far worse. But no, it was a lot of fun. It challenged me a lot, especially as someone who calls out mechanics. At the end, I listened back to my clear VOD and it was so funny. I'm like, okay, north-south clone being absorbed, so east-west. Okay, so east-west clone jump to the west, so north-south. And they was like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, I watched your guys' clear. You were locked in on the call-outs on the clear. You could tell like 4 minutes before you cleared that your group was going to clear, because everybody just sounded so locked in.
That's because if they're not, I'm going to lose track of all this shit. Like, I got to remember defamations first, then we do northwest, then it's northwest, south, then get to your platforms, the DPS hit by light, then, you know, make sure defamations first, defamations cheat out, stack, defamation stack. Okay, go back to your meters, make sure to aim the darks out and the winds land across, and then don't move for the fire, but make sure you move for the earth. And then also the winds go true north to do the baits, and then the clones get, all right.
And a 200. We have 300. We have 300. We have 350. We have 330. We have 450. We have 400. We have 500. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. That's exactly what it sounds like. Just doing an auction and raid.
But there's something that I alluded to earlier, and that I think that if M9 didn't have the easiest check, M12 I think has the second easiest check, because boy, can you get away with nonsense in that phase, in both phase 1 and phase 2, and still make it. Like, healer L being through the meteors,
very lenient check-wise.
Yeah, literally like losing everyone and then healer L being is still very much like week 1 clear, like potential. And I'd say more often than not, that does not happen with final fights. M4S is the only other example we've had, but M4S was like the omega end of that, where it's like a minute before the enrage. This was where it felt like having 3 extra weeks to get tomes was like the most beneficial. I suppose. Like they didn't actually
I am like
scale
almost certain they didn't tune 12's check for the extra gear. Like it has to be the case just because it was so lenient.
Mm-hmm. Which is in line with what they said. They said they didn't really want to change it because most people are not week 1 raiders, and everyone needs to be able to do it, right? So if you tune it tight for the people who have 4 weeks of gear, then the people who have 4 weeks of gear but don't hit that same skill ceiling are fucked like forever at that point. So. And we don't
think though for a puzzle fight, it's actually pretty okay for the check to be lenient because really a lot of these puzzle fights in this game are binary. Do you do the puzzle correctly? Yes, no. If yes, you clear. If no, you don't. And it still fulfills the requirements of that because you do have to get through all of Idyllic like pretty cleanly mostly cleanly to avoid something horrible happening, and then you win. Yeah.
That's pretty much the moment we got their meteors clean, someone's like, "Oh, this is it," and we're like, "Yep, that was our only clean time through meteors when we cleared."
Yeah, same for us. The first clean pull on meteors we killed like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So from what it sounds like, both of you are saying, 12 phase 2 a little bit forgivable.
I think the whole tier doesn't body check you nearly as much as, let's say, the final tier of Pandemonium, which was a huge problem. And it's even a problem earlier in Dawn Trail. A lot of things you would normally expect to no longer be survivable mistakes are actually survivable mistakes. Even during Cruel Coil, shockingly. Like, you can get away with a lot in Cruel Coil. And A, not be wiped out, and B, still clear. So... that's true in phase 1 and phase 2. Like Idyllic, you can healer LB through the meteors as long as the healer survives and absolutely still clear. And it's like not that we had like a 0.1% wipe with like a bunch of damage downs and a healer LB at one point. So it's so like, and when we did do it perfect, it was crushed beyond like, we didn't even begin to see the very final in Rage Cast. So.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about like, again, comparing it to, Pandemonium and like all the body checks that Pandemonium had, like, do you feel like feels so much better? Because I'll say this, one thing I hated about Pandemonium, like, especially for Athena, fucking snapshots that happened like last week.
I mean, that happens with M11, but not really here.
No, it's not as bad as Athena. Athena's snapshots happen like on Christmas. Like if you didn't do your snapshots on Christmas, like you're fucking dead. I don't think 11 was as bad as Athena. Nothing is as bad as Athena.
Nothing is as bad as the daggers from Fork Tower Blood. If you haven't experienced those yet, Sly, nothing will upset you more than the daggers from Fork Tower Blood.
Those things are demonic.
literally Sly, as the mechanic is returned, so as it goes out and back in, if you haven't moved by the time it's come back in, you're already dead. Like the animation for the previous hit is not even done and it's already told you that the next one is locked in. So
yeah,
that's that one's brutal. I don't know
how to... You just memorize where to go basically, because otherwise you are going to get hit.
Yeah, I don't really know how to compare. I just know I liked this tier better. Like any one individual part, mechanic, like snapshot, whatever. I just know there was so much less compromised fun here. So much more so much less compromised experience. So more fun here than in most of Pandemonium. Like I liked Pandemonium. P10, I'm a P10 lover. And I think P9 and even P11 and 12 have their moments. But, then there's the whole Abyssos thing. There's just... Dawn Trail, for me, Savage brought fun back to raiding. Pandemonium was a lot of not fun. Endwalker was a lot of not fun.
I think with Pandemonium, like... the thing about it is I think most of the Pandemonium fights are good fights, but the problem is when you sit there and you think about them critically, they're always, I had fun doing this, but... Whereas in Arcadian, most of the fights are just, I had fun doing this, and there is no big but that kind of sullies the experience.
How you doing?
I think the same is especially true if you compare the 212s and you mentioned the body checks. I think that sometimes you need body checks, right? Sometimes you do need a binary success failure state for certain mechanics. Otherwise, people will just find a way to completely cheese them. But I think that Endwalker in general went so far beyond what is fun and engaging in body checks, and seeing them rein it back in for final turns this expansion and in this tier makes you feel that you have more agency over your win or your loss, because there is a level of recoverability, and I think that is part of what the fun is as well.
Yeah, I feel like M11 is a perfect balance of body checks. Like M11 had the right amount of body checks.
Yeah, you understand why an arena split with 4 towers is a completely logical thing to do, but is also a body check. And it's also not a wipe. Like, that's a body check that doesn't automatically spell out failure. Most likely it will spell out failure, but not automatically.
Charybdis is a body check.
Yeah, Charybdis is like the one big one there, where if you lose someone to like one of the very like last weapons, you're probably eating shit. And given how much people are struggling with the damage in the later part of the fight, you really can't afford it either.
Yeah.
So, but that's fine. Like, once in a while, it's fine. It's just like P10, for example, was check after check after check after check after check after check after check. Every single thing P10 did was, we're fucked, aren't we, huh?
I think the really like simple good example of that is the fact that in P10, the stacks were enumerations, which is like, if you imagine the stacks being enumerations in a fight this expansion, you'd be like, no, that's crazy. That's like insanely punishing for no reason. But that's how it used to be designed, and they've shifted they've shifted very heavily away from that this expansion. And I think that's a good thing, and I think it helps engage both new raiders, and I think it allows old raiders just to have a good time and enjoy the fights without constantly wiping to what feels like a nothing mechanic. It doesn't feel good to do, but it does feel bad to not do, right? So who's winning? Nobody.
Yeah.
So did the both of you see this trending for 8.0 in terms of raids, like this trend of,
I think it's
shifting
unavoidable
down from body checks.
I think they want to do that.
I know body checks are unavoidable, but like in comparison to Pandemonium, where it was just nothing but it, and then we kind of reduced it in Arcadian. Do you see them kind of keeping this trend, or balancing it, like a good balance of it, where the fight is actually fun?
I think
so.
It's less of a body check thing and more of them realizing that giving people damage downs is the best motivator to not fuck up.
Or stacks.
They want
giving the boss stacks.
Yeah, or giving the boss. They want you to like stay alive after being hit, so you feel bad for being hit. That's what it is. They want you to witness your own failure in real time instead of instantly die.
It is crazy when you compare how much effort people put into getting the damage down mechanics right to comparing how much effort they take to move out of the saws halfway through Vamp. Because they'll just take that knowing it's the problem. But when it's a damage down, oh boy, they working hard.
If those saws gave a damage down, oh man.
And Rinon, I went back and watched your M11 clear, like on YouTube, and like near the end, like I think someone said there's just damage downs. We can get through this. We can still get through this.
Yeah, that's good, something. Right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing, because I think if you have a binary failure state, you can't create these moments where the players have stakes and where they're like invested into a pull that goes suboptimally, where there's still hope. And I think those moments where things go wrong and people still have the chance to make it through, those are the things that people remember from raiding.
Yeah.
Those are the moments where they're like, damn, that was a good memory.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, to be fair, it still feels like shit, and you still feel like, man, it like there's a chance we're not making it, but at the same time, like you said, like, yeah, we're this far in the pool. Let's just see how this goes. Let's just put it all on the line.
Yep.
I like that. I like that feeling. Yeah.
It's a good feeling. And that's kind of Arcadian as a whole. I've resigned to the fact that no matter what, I've already accepted 8.0's raid will not top the Arcadian. Even if I'm wrong.
It's impossible.
Yeah, unless Matem comes with us. Matem in phase 2 is so funny. He's like, I don't know what's happening.
I just don't know anymore. Like what is happening? I don't know anymore.
just gives up. Just has no interest and even tries like, is this another dimension? I am utterly bewildered.
Is this deja vu?
If they just jumped the gun and we kept him along for every raid from now on, I would kind of love it.
I think we're experiencing deja vu. So we were talking about this in our static. So eventually, the Arcadian will be an ultimate.
Yeah.
Eventually, like somewhere down the line, the Arcadian will be an ultimate. Like, quick tangent. Because you know how you usually get your ultimates from the Wandering Minstrel, right?
Yeah.
What if it was just an invitation from Metem?
It's
royal rump. Like
it's not going to be that. They're going to just bring Gabbro. They're just going to have.
It's the wrestling. It's the wrestling thing. You have to have an invitation. Like, yeah. Like, what if? Yeah. And I think my raid lead said, what if? Yeah. Like, what if Metem said all the challengers want to have one last crack at you.
But the Lindworm's just dead. What is he going to be like? We brought him back. Like this isn't. It's just going to be Gabbro being
it's
like,
just the
what
challengers.
If?
It's just the challenge, not the Lindworm. I mean, that probably
the Lindworms. They cannot have the Lindworm in Ultimate.
No. I mean, not saying it's not going to be in the Ultimate, but just saying how it's presented to you instead of the Wandering Minstrel. It'd be like Metem would say, like, hey, the challengers wanted one last crack at you, and then you would experience the Lindworm in the fight.
But he's dead. He can't be in the fight no matter what. Like they can't. There's no like souls. They're not gonna break. It's just gonna be Gabbro because this is all fanfic from Gabbro.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have to be a simulation. They'd have to be using the same technology that lets us bring in 7 friends effectively to do the Lindworm, which I don't know how much they really want to do.
See, I just want like either a Royal Rumble or a King of the Ring type thing for Haps has no whimsy. Like I want a Royal Rumble or King of the Ring type thing for the Ultimate. Like I don't just want to be the Wandering Minstrel like, hey, what if da 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 da. No. Put the pageantry on it. Put some respect on the
pageantry will be there, and Metem just won't have anything to do with it. He'll be in the fight, but he won't be sending you an invite.
I just still wish we got the Brute Undertaker. That's all I wish.
I mean, we did. It was just.
That's a possibility. That is
a possibility. It was just in the
everybody wanted the Brute Undertaker.
No, we got
everybody wanted the Brute Undertaker.
The cutscene was his Undertaker moment. Yeah, the Brute Underbomber.
Even when we were in phase 2 of 12, I was still coping that we would get a Brute Undertaker appearance, like in the fight. I was coping so hard, but it never happened until the cutscenes.
Like all the lights go out and boom.
It would be so good. It would be so good.
Like y'all would just lose your shit. Like, oh my god, it's happening.
I guarantee you, in the Ultimate, we're gonna have to like do ultimate mega boom kick at some point. We're gonna have to like help Hector charge up the orb to do an ultimate mega boom kick.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's got to happen. I've resigned that. I don't think the next tier is gonna be like. It's not like I don't expect it to be good. I think the Arcadian bar is just too high. Good in terms of actual fun factor and difficulty, or just overall. I think everything, down to like the music variety, Metem as an announcer, the individual fight. I mean, you got to remember 8.0 is going to be a mix of their proposed job identity changes with the raid identity. So the fun of the raid will inherently be tied to the success of that. And until I'm convinced of that, it's hard for me to be even remotely optimistic. Now, I don't even want to be pessimistic. I just want to expect it to be more of the average overall vibe. So the last two raid series have been
kind of original, kind of original to Final Fantasy. The one before it, not so much, because it was kind of based on, it was Eden. We're due for, I think we're due for nostalgia. So I say this every expansion, but I think it's gonna happen. We're getting Sin. I think we're finally getting Sin.
It's not gonna be Sin. We have Bismarck. That's good enough.
It's not Sin. That's just a fucking fat ass whale. Sin is Sin.
Sin's a whale. Sin's a fat ass whale too. And 10's my second favorite game in Final Fantasy. Sin's just a fat ass whale. It's what's inside Sin. That's interesting. So no. I'm also gonna say I think that they should probably take note that I think on average, Pandemonium had its issues, but as a story that connects with the average player, I think Pandemonium and Arcadian hit the nail on the head better than some of the
most other expansions.
Yeah.
Like
Coil kind of sucks until the last tier story wise, in all honesty.
I think the thing they did a really good job with in Arcadian especially is just creating memorable and memeable characters that are the kind of characters that people will become both fans of and make fan art of and make jokes about. And we've had that in the past sometimes, but not consistently every single fight like we have on this one,
Yan. Yeah, we're getting a Yan plush because of this fucking tier.
Yeah, because of Arcadian has so many iconic things. Down to Yaoi of 2 characters as a strategy board. So they've really hit it on all cylinders, I suppose. Hell yeah, or hell yan.
Hell yan.
The Arcadian. Yeah, they I just can't imagine the next tier will be even remotely the success. And it's funny.
You never know.
And what's funny to me is this is exactly what people mean when they say they want the Scions to stop joining us, by the way. It's literally like the Arcadian is the epitome of we can leave the Scions at home for once. They're literally nowhere in the entire tier, and it's nothing but bangers across the board.
You'd think they would learn this lesson, right? You think they would learn?
I actually don't think we're going to have a lot of... I think Ishtola is going to be the main Scion that is with us next expansion. I don't think we're going to be... I think there's going to be maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't think it's going to be the ensemble again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Graha too, probably. Yeah, Graha and Ishtola, I think, are about to be we're about to be the cat companions. So,
Mrhappy incoming. Nah,
I don't even think. Honestly, I don't even think Kryle's going to join us next expansion. I think. I think
this was Kryle's expansion. This was Kryle's expansion.
I mean, they took them till 0.4 to figure that out, but yeah, that's true. And I think the twins are staying home. We have new twins.
Twins at home.
God.
No, the twins are home. We left the twins. Somebody said they're voiced by the same 2 people too, and I'm like, no, they're not. There's no way they fucking did that.
No, they're not. God.
I mean, they might be, but I can't say they're not for certain. But I'm like, no fucking way they actually made them voiced by Alphino and Alice's VAs too. I don't know who voices them, but that would be fucking hilarious if they got the twins voice actors to do other twins. Lalafell twins. Yeah, I think they're staying in Garlemald. Also, there's of course the chance. I think we're taking a break, one expansion break from seeing Aaronville, and then he'll be in 9.0 as a main figure. So I think he's gonna be the meanwhile somewhere else cutscene character.
Meanwhile, let the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, I think for 8.0 that's gonna be Aaronville. But unfortunately, the only thing that we're gonna get with the Arcadian characters in the future, which they've already started on, is mahjong announcers, because Matema is a mahjong announcer now. You can get him as a mahjong announcer.
Well, is he? That's so good. I didn't know that.
That's what I've been told.
Cool.
Damn. Quick tangent. I kind of wouldn't mind. I mean, I kind of wouldn't mind having a raid tier with Fordella.
I mean, Fordola, I always felt Fordola was criminally underused, so I'm not opposed to it. But I mean, we got to wheel around Ehrenwald the whole time too. We can't just leave him at home.
Treating Aaron.
I'm just saying, like you can't
Charles
just want
Xavier.
Fordola. Yeah, you can't just leave him at home. They're a pair. You can't just want one of them. You know you're getting both.
Ehrenwald and Charles Xavier of the new raid. Let's go.
Ehrenwald's great. I wouldn't mind that. I'm just saying he's coming with us too. You can't just want Fordola. You got to bring the pair. I just really hope now more than ever. Well, two things. Technically three, but two. Okay. One, I hope to see the same level of execution
Creativity?
done. What was that?
Creativity?
Yeah, I want that same level of execution and creativity in upcoming Criterion and Ultimate. Because I like Fru, but it definitely doesn't have the touch that Arcadian this tier has.
It's missing a bit of the source, I think. It's still a good fight. It's just it doesn't reach the same peaks that even some of the Savages this expansion do.
Yes, exactly. And two, nail the job identity so I can be wrong about 8.0's raid. Because I'm really nervous about that. Really nervous.
I'm nervous. I have like big fears about 8.0's job design. I'm going to be honest. Like,
yeah.
I really want to be wrong. I'm nervous that they will not pull it off in a way that I personally will enjoy, and it's all about me, so I want it to be the way that I want it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm someone who doesn't think it's even going to change that much. I think people are way overblowing how much they think it'll change.
I think it's
going
to change a lot less than people are hoping. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those where I can't be optimistic. I have to be realistic. I can only go on what I've seen before. I can't go on what I haven't seen. So it's tough, but that's the truth of the matter.
I will say though, I do have to say, if they manage to nail the source that Arcadian, not Criterion, but also Criterion, the source that Arcadian has next expansion in raid design, whilst also making jobs iterate in a positive way, could be the best expansion. I'm going to be honest, for me at least. Yeah. If they manage to pull that off, it just could be the peak of FF14's raiding scene.
Yeah.
Praise you, Yevon.
It's not going to be Sin. She's going to dash your dreams. Because if it's Sin, everyone's going to want Blitzball, and we know there's no Blitzball, so they can't do it.
There's no Blitzball. No.
We know there's no Blitzball. I've already hard confirmed it with Yoshi P.
Just Sin.
Yeah.
Praise you, Yevon.
And I will say that Arcadian Savage, just as a closing note, to give it a little bit of credit, that Arcadian Savage's level of creativity and fun is something we see in Quantum 40, where I felt they had a very similar level of intelligence and execution. So I'm hoping it's a trend.
I think Q40 is criminally underappreciated, because that's a really good fight. Like, really, really good fight. We got Cruiserweight, then this tier. Yeah. All in a row.
It's like the opposite of Endwalker, where we went fucking DSR Abyssos top. We're like, don't get me wrong, DSR is great, but for the health of the game, DSR Abyssos top was not a good thing.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was just so many long progs back to back and slogs of tears. They were still fun fights, but
with a Criterion in between.
Yeah.
But like, even between all of that, y'all needed mental help. As Raiders, y'all did.
I sure did. Wake up, Mr. Happy. It's time for day 15 of DSR. No.
I remember when we cleared top, I was like, man, maybe I need a break from raiding. Jesus Christ. Because that's like, what, 4 progs in 1 year? And they're really long progs, because the ultimates would take like a week to a week and a half. My lord. Luckily, we've had a bit more of a chill time this expansion.
I loved Fru. Everyone's like, man, Fru Prague was only 5 days. That's too easy. I was like, fuck you. Specifically. Fuck you. I never want to see that shit. I've done enough 15-day progs. I'm good. I got a life outside of this shit now. I'll give me a 5-day prog.
And a nice 1 week prog is good. When it starts hitting weekend of the second week, you are in despair. And no matter how happy you are when you clear, you are in despair until that moment. It's just how it is.
I'm always happy when I clear.
For fuck's sake.
I mean, I've held back. You've done it so many.
You've done it so many times. You didn't even realize it. Like, bro.
I had to get one near the end at the very least. But yeah, Quantum 14. I'll even say this. Quantum 15 is really good. I'll give Quantum 15 its credit. Yeah, I thought when we did 15 after 40, we were like, holy shit. It's actually like mostly the same fight. I thought it was going to be way more neutered than this. So now if only they hadn't just made it gotcha boxes for the reward.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think they could have done a much better job in terms of how they implemented the rewards. I like the fight a lot though. I think it's a shame because I feel like not many people did that fight, and it deserves a bit more appreciation for how good it is.
Yeah. I feel like
suppose
that's
what you get
chaotic.
when you lock it behind Deep Dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way about chaotic goals. Like chaotic, yeah, the body checks were rough, but I do think that all in all, the chaotic fight was very good. Just, shot above the bar it needed to. A little too much. And there's no reason. Stop. Don't item level sync it. Take that shit off. There's no reason to have that fight item level synced.
Yeah, we can just keep that for ultimate, honestly. I don't think we need to eye level sync the other stuff, really.
Yeah. Especially not chaotic. Why? Why are you doing that? All right, well, this was a fun discussion. We got to tangent a little bit, and we went a little over time, but that's perfectly fine. I got a cat that vomited while we were doing that about 25 minutes ago, so I'm going to go get to that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, that's that. When you have 5 cats, someone's always vomiting. So.
Or pooping.
Or pooping. One of the two's happening, so you just kind of get used to both of them. So let's get this party wrapped up. Rinon, thank you for joining us again. Thank you for taking the time to
have this fun
little discussion.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. So why don't you do the usual outro, say who you are, what you're working on right now, where they can find you. You know the drill.
Yeah. If you want to check me out, my YouTube and Twitch are both Rin Banana. I make a lot of discussions about FF14, and right now I'm streaming a lot of PF, so you're welcome to check it out if you want. If you don't, that's okay too.
Third party despair was what we call watching PF. It's like watching Real Housewives, except you're trying to kill a giant behemoth man.
I'm just there to see what happens. I'm okay with whatever the outcome is. It'll be a spectacle either way.
You're the peacekeeper. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Thank you again for taking the time. Sly.
Thank you so much.
Your turn.
Hi, I'm Sly. I stream, even though my raid lead says I don't. You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. Twitter, Sly, aka Gray Fox, YouTube, Bluesky, Sly, aka Gray Fox, youtube.com/The Velvet Room. A lot of things happening. Well, in terms of today is Friday in California. Shoot. Because of my mods, making me play Ocarina and Majora's Mask last month, I took it upon myself to do something for myself this month, and I have started a series playthrough of Mega Man X. So right now I'm on Mega Man X5, which we'll be getting into right after this. Of course, tonight is Bourbon Night, so even though Happy maybe start Bourbon Night a little bit early because of his shit, got a couple of bourbons to try, and of course we'll be watching some bourbon content. Other than that, rest of the month, January and February are the hell months. Honestly, there's a lot of shit coming out. I know Arc Knights Infield is
22nd.
Next week or the week after. 22nd. Thank you. And then there's a lot of shit in February, including Requiem, which I'm really hyped for, and a bunch of other stuff which I cannot remember. But yeah,
Dragon Quest 7 is February 8th. That's another one.
I won't be doing that. I'll actually be getting back to much to one of my mods chagrin, I'll be getting back to Final Fantasy 11 because I finished I just finished not Arcadion. God, I finished Arcadion long ago. Wings of the Goddess, thank you. So I will be doing
Rhapsodies of Vana'diel?
That too, because you kind of have to do that. The other one.
Seekers of Adulin.
Thank you. Which is probably the worst one because of fame.
No, Seekers of Adulin, outside of the first few quests, is way better than Wings of the Goddess, I promise you. It's my favorite
Even
story.
though fame?
The fame thing doesn't matter. The fame thing is just log in and do some dailies, and you'll eventually be allowed to continue the story. After that, it gets much better. It's way better. It's way better than Wings of the Goddess making you do the fucking story missions constantly and like constantly bouncing you back.
Oh, going back and forth and yeah. Like that's one thing I hated about it. I love the story.
Wings is a great story, but the pacing is fucking ass.
Yeah, like Vales was saying, Neo 3, Code Vein 2. Yeah. There's
Code
like
2 is January 28th,
January and February. Yeah. January and February are hell months. In terms of being a gamer, good time, but like as a content creator, yeah, good luck playing all this shit. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But today, after this, Mega Man X and Bourbon Night. Come watch some Mega Man and come have some bourbon. Watch some bourbon videos with us.
And he said Enfield first, don't worry.
You're perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my turn, Sly?
It is your turn.
Hi, Mr. Happy. I'm done. Anyway. So no,
wow.
I'm in the process of moving into a new home, so I'm not really trying to do a whole lot right now. I have some stuff from last month I need to do. I need to finish Dispatch as part of something from last month. I have to play my first Yakuza game ever, so that's going to be a time. And I have to do it in a Hawaiian shirt, and I have to get the bat, so I have to reach out to Annie in order to get that done. Because I told her I'd tell her when I hit it, and then I never did that. But she also said it would be really quick to make. So I think she had a pretty busy season. So I don't think she's particularly too. I think it's going to be too bad. But yeah, I've got all those going on. But I'm gonna probably be trying out Enfield. I would like to try Code Vein 2. I didn't really get it much into Code Vein 1. Something about it just didn't click when I tried playing it, and so I never really got into it. So I'm hoping Code Vein 2 will be a little bit better. And then Dragon Quest 7, I'll probably New Zealand trick that to play it 3 days early, because I know you can play it 2 days early, so I'll probably New Zealand trick it for the third day, just so I can play it on February 5th. We still don't know when the patches are. We talked about that at the start of the show, so there's still a Relic patch and a Criterion patch coming up sometime in the near future, and in about 3 months, don't forget, we'll know what the next expansion is. And I will be going. Yeah. Are you going to any of the fan fests, Rinon?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe I might go to EU. I didn't get tickets for NA though. It's a long and expensive trip.
Yeah. Very. That's fair. And then Japan is a whole other story. That's a whole different thing.
But that one's not happening either.
I want to try to go to Japan, but I can't make any promises. So, you heard it here. We'll see. All right, but that's going to be a wrap for State of the Realm this week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to the sponsors over on Patreon. None of our content is pay gated, so we just appreciate all y'all over there for supporting in whatever way you see is best fit. But we're going to go to a very short post show, literally like no more than a minute or two, because there's cat vomit for me to clean up. My cats are waiting for me to feed them, and I got to feed myself because I haven't eaten since 8 in the morning. So, and it's currently 5:30 in the evening. So I'd like to, consume, because I enjoy doing that. So thanks again to everyone for this week's show, and we'll see about next week's show. Not 100% certain just yet, but all the same, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.